Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. November 2023 is done, which means this is our final episode before the Hivemind 2023 award season. Get in your predictions now, because our 3 awards episodes for our favorite songs, favorite EPs, and favorite albums of the year are coming soon. Get hyped. Let's go.
Let's go.
Justin, Derek, Jacob, back again for another one of these. How are we feeling tonight? How things been?
November was mid.
November was strange.
November was yeah.
I mean,
the weirdest month we've had.
I was sick for like the first 2 weeks of it, and then everything else just kind of meandered.
The one thing that was also strange about November is the amount of EPs that dropped this month. I feel like more EPs dropped in November than like the first half of 2023 combined.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Hey, whatever, we take those. There's a lot of good stuff for us to talk about. So, be sure to follow us on social media at HiveMindRadio_ on Instagram and Twitter or X. Hivemind Recap Podcast on Spotify and other podcast platforms. Let's talk about some concerts that we went to this month. What do you say?
Sounds good.
I know a couple of us went to some shows.
I went to one.
I
think Justin went to one.
Yeah.
I went to one.
I didn't go to any.
Mine was probably at the end of the month. So actually, it was at the end of the month. So you guys go first.
I went to see Honey Revenge.
Nice.
And now is the time where I get to mention the fact that during our October recap, I mentioned when we were talking about the Colorblind single, Way Out, that, oh boy, I'm really looking forward to seeing Colorblind in Hartford. Haha, funny joke. They got sick and couldn't perform. So it was supposed to be Honey Revenge, Colorblind, and Pollyanna. Instead, it was just Honey Revenge, because Pollyanna also dropped out for being sick, which was very unfortunate news to wake up to that morning. But Honey Revenge,
songs.
Honey Revenge was playing their entire discography, whether or not they wanted to.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they were playing their entire discography every single night because they have a debut album and 2 extra songs. So
yeah, very
their
true.
entire discography is just barely enough for a headline set. Either way, you'd have to ask the band, but I get the vibes that the crowd wasn't the greatest that night. I think people were definitely excited and people had a good time, but I do think that from what I can tell, it wasn't one of the hottest shows of the tour. It was also like the only date on the tour within like a couple days that wasn't sold out. So if Honey Revenge ever does come back to Canada, I will be sure to be there, but I'm not exactly holding my breath for it. I had fun. I also went with my sister, who also likes Honey Revenge, which was really cool being able to go with her since our music tastes don't exactly overlap very much. And she had a great time as well. So, yeah, I wish I could have seen Colorblind perform, but it is what it is.
Nice. I went to see the Johnny Craig the Past Should Stay Dead tour.
Oh, so jealous.
It was so good. The support for it, immaculate. Foreign Affair and Sunsleep and Keeper Secrets all killed it. Sunsleep's set is available on their Spotify page. New Sensations, Hello Goodbye, Medication, Thicker Skin. I don't think they played Thicker Skin. I think they played something else. I don't remember what they played, but I don't remember Thicker Skin being played. But Rain, Haze, Dive, Better Off, Solitary Mist, Moonlight, Euphoria, all of it phenomenal. The weird thing, even though on the Johnny Craig tour, Better Off didn't have Johnny Craig come on stage.
What?
That was a
That's
weird
whack.
missed
That's
opportunity.
whack.
No, it makes sense. It's Johnny Craig.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Craig.
Did Johnny Craig go on stage for the Foreign Affair song?
No.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Okay.
See, this makes no fucking sense to
Yeah.
me, because that's like that. Sometimes you have like a band that has a feature on the tour. Like, for instance, Knocked Loose, Motionless in White with like Slaughterhouse. They can bring out people, whoever they want, to do whatever. Why would Johnny Craig have 2 bands with recent releases with his features on the tour and not come out for those features?
Dude,
That
it's a missed
feels
opportunity.
like-
A Foreign Affair didn't play that song.
Well,
I
probably because
guess.
Johnny Craig wouldn't want to come out.
That's probably why. They played some of the earlier singles and some of their earlier songs. They played Rear View. They played
yeah.
Day by Day, which is still my favorite song by them. And Devin Barris did Aaron Gillespie's feature on it, which was fucking fantastic. Really good. They played an older song. I didn't get the name of it, so I didn't quite catch what it was. And no set lists have been updated, to my knowledge, with that song. And then they played Control, Passing Through, and I'm Your Ghost, two of their older songs from like 2019, 2020. Overall, like both bands had phenomenal sets. Johnny Craig, I didn't recognize a ton of the songs, but I followed the set list and it was still all pretty good.
How did he sound?
I sounded fine.
Okay.
There were no problems.
I'm wondering about his voices recently.
I didn't hear any strain or anything. He sounded pretty normal, so.
Well, it probably means he's staying sober, so good for him. As much as I can give Johnny Craig well wishes, good for him on staying sober.
He is pretty whack. I met him before the show, and he's a guy.
He's a
guy.
Did he try to sell you a MacBook?
Yeah, guy. Like, I'll quit. I'll totally.
We need to get that one framed and send it to Justin. He is a guy.
He is a guy.
He is a guy.
And get like a
signature.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know how like grandmas have like the embroidered pictures on their wall and like maybe like a live, laugh, love, or like this home is whatever. We'll just do that. We'll do it with he is a guy.
That just reads.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
And we'll embroider Johnny Craig's face next to it.
Oh,
it'll be perfect.
Absolutely not. I don't want.
I'm gonna learn how to embroider and do this for you. This is this needs to happen.
By Christmas time, I'll expect it. That's the only show I went to.
Derek, you didn't go to any?
Nope.
What's wrong with you?
I think I did. I don't remember going.
There wasn't a random Tuesday this month, so
no random Tuesday.
I haven't been to very many concerts this year. I think I did 3.
I had like a random Thursday that you guys all had off, so.
That's true. I'm gonna have to find something here soon, I think. Although I think most places are done around here till January, February.
Yeah.
But that second leg of the Metalcore Dropouts tour.
I think the next one that's coming up for me is Breaking Benjamin.
I don't have any tickets for any concerts right now.
Damn.
Which is crazy for me, honestly.
that's a rarity for Jacob.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
But I did have one as of the 30th of November, which is when I saw Imminence for the first time.
It was the one.
It was awesome.
Something tells me that might be an understatement.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You just have to experience it live, dude. Like the presence of the violin there is like so surreal. And honestly, I thought like going into it, I was like, oh, you know what? Violin, I feel like it's going to affect Eddie's stage presence. No, it did not. It did not. It did not restrict him at all. It was awesome. Honestly, like I was pretty close to the front, but they played pretty much perfect set list in my opinion. Some couple got engaged in the pit as well.
That's sick.
I saw the reel that they posted of that. Yeah,
they posted a TikTok of it.
So that was a different show.
I'm pretty sure. Weird.
There's two different things. Like some couple got married the day of in Detroit, and then this couple got engaged. And Eddie came into the pit and sang Alleviate, like a piano rendition of it as well, which has upped my ranking of Alleviate and is now I'd say my second favorite Imminence song now.
Damn.
That was a really good song.
Yeah, it honestly incredible. I think it would have been hilarious if they played This Is Goodbye as the closer though.
Dude, I would go just for the violin alone. Like,
dude, it was so cool.
Sounds so phenomenal.
Also, Until I Wake was there as well.
Yeah.
Sure they were.
Partly. Mostly.
Sure they were. I'm excited to see them next year. I saw them post new tour dates, and I'm definitely gonna get tickets.
I feel like I gotta get tickets at that point, man. The Broadberry is a really small venue. Like, really, I think it's 250 cap. I want to say.
I've never been to it. I've only been to Canal.
My venue was like 150, and then it got upped like immediately to like a 950, and it sold. It wasn't sold out until day of though. So
For what it's worth, the Webster Underground, where I see a lot of my local shows, is like a 300 cap. I think. So
I expect with more dates, there will be less people at each show.
Honestly, yeah. But they've got like Ace of Spades and House of Blues in Sacramento and Anaheim, I think it was.
Those are also just much bigger population centers.
I mean, very true. Yeah, I was just surprised because like I think that House of Blues venue is like 1,800, I want to say, which is
I'm
way
very
more
curious
than
what the
other.
support is going to be for that. If they, I'm guessing there will be. There just got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Check out Imminence. I got a bracelet as well.
Fuck yeah. Like they were selling them as merch?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. See, more innovative merch like that. I feel like I haven't really seen anybody else sell bracelets, at least at venues.
Invent Animate was selling Heaven or necklaces.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, I think.
Bro, that just reminds me of the sleep token necklace that I should have bought way back when This Place Will Become Your Tomb came out.
You could have resold it and bought a house.
I know.
Anyway. Sleep token. What was that shit? The tickets for that concert were like $600.
17 minutes. It sold out for 6,000 seat venue.
Holy fuck!
That was today, right? I think so.
Yeah, today, yesterday, some shit like that. I don't know, but I remember seeing somebody post on Twitter that like one of the
it's resale probably.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say it was like a platinum seat or something like that in the venue, and that shit was $685. Oh wow!
US.
Yeah, US.
Shall we get into the playlist for this month?
Yes, sir.
This is your friendly reminder that we have a playlist for every episode, and that's the order that we go in for discussing these. So if you want to follow along, check out the playlist in the episode description. Let's get started with Written by Wolves, who have dropped their brand new single, Burn.
We gave up and just watched the fire. Remember. We just need to watch it burn.
This is top 3, I want to say, of the singles they've released.
Next to what? What's the order?
Misery. Well, I would go Misery, Give Me Hell, Burn.
Okay, I would put this 4th, and I would put Goddess in 2nd. I would go Misery, Goddess, and then Give Him Hell, and then this.
Goddess. I'll level with you that Goddess and this, I would say, were probably tied for me.
Fair. I find it a little, I don't know if ironic is the word for it, but the fact that they put out a song called Let It Burn, and now they have a song called Burn.
Is that on the same album?
No.
Okay.
Let It Burn was the opener to Secrets. And now they have put out Burn in like the next album. It's like, I don't know. There's something that's just a little weird to me about that. There are two different song names. It's real. It's ultimately, it's fine. I just find it a little funny that
you said it.
They have 2 songs about Burn now.
The song has a really good riff all throughout it.
Yeah. It's very groovy for sure.
I was surprised by it, honestly. Like, I think instrumentally, this is my favorite Written by Wolves song that they've put out. Probably, I want to say recently, but also probably ever.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't super sold on the vocals as usual, and like the repetition of Burn, it felt like it took up a little bit too much space. But I still think this is their strongest single for a while.
Yeah, the repetition of Let It Burn gets repetitive, but it also is quite catchy. Like, I imagine this song live, like being able to just like throw the mic out to the crowd and have them just burn out. Like, that's gonna be a cool moment live, you know?
Oh yeah, no, they dropped.
And
this
I almost feel like
before
that's what this is more for.
They dropped this before one of their live shows, and I can just tell this was made for a live set.
Yeah, not my favorite Written by Wolves song, but it's a good song.
Really begs the question of like what they're doing. Because I know they said they have like an album pretty much planned at this point, like waiting on art and stuff, but I don't know if it's all going to be released one by one, like some bands, Citizen Soldier, have done, or release like these are the last few singles, and we'll probably get like a 13-odd album.
Time will tell.
I'm kind of hoping for the latter. because I want to. I want to call it and say these are the last singles I need to listen to for the album.
I was really hoping that they would drop an album this year, but clearly that has not happened. So, surely next year. It has been over 4 years since Secret dropped, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Well, they did the collab EP in the middle of that.
They did.
But that was mostly old stuff with
That was pandemic
new
filler,
features.
I feel like.
Yeah, probably.
So they've definitely been cooking up stuff for a while. A lot of these singles have been solid. So we'll see how the full album turns out whenever they announce it. Cowards.
Speaking of full albums that have dropped, we got the last single for the upcoming album and everything in between by Unprocessed with their single Glass.
I pretend things are alright. I can comfort you and hold you tight. To love you.
Guys, I finally like an Unprocessed song.
I
This-
think this is my favorite single.
I think so too, but it's because it sounds more like the last album.
Mhm. I think all throughout it, up until like you get to the breakdown, I think it sounds close to the last album.
The bass on this is so fat, dude. Like this
It is really good. Like I would go for a Unprocessed just instrumental album.
I'm saying, I'm normally not a huge fan of the vocals that this band does, but honestly, I think it really works well here. And I really like the way that the lead guitar and kind of the lighter vocals went well with each other. And then when it got darker towards the end, when the unclean started to kick in, that breakdown was just, it felt like a very natural progression to like an up, down, hit the top and then descent. I was really impressed with this. This is the first time that I've like listened to an Unprocessed song front to back and actively enjoyed it the entire way, which, not to say they have any bad songs, but I mean, I've expressed in the past multiple times how I feel about the vocals, and it finally clicked for me. So shout out Glass, makes me want to actually check out the album.
I think it's like a Breathe Atlantis thing where I think like the slower vocals work better than the harsher vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Especially if you go into like the beginning of the song where it's like very slow, smooth, and then you bring in like the bassy guitars and just the entire like first minute and a half is good. The album has dropped as of recording this, so we'll be discussing that when the time comes. But overall, I was pretty pleased with the singles, but I still think that the singles leading up to Gold were a little bit better.
I don't have too much to add. This one didn't do much for me. So yeah, let's move on.
Nevertel with their new single Far Away.
The memories I'm haunted by, pulling me back in when I feel so far away, so far away. Tearing me up.
I feel like they're incapable of missing.
No,
This
they
is
don't
the best
miss.
song that they have dropped since the album.
I will give that to you in the context that all three are really good.
Yeah, that's fair. Like Modified and Feed the Machine are good.
Yeah.
I think
they're-
that this is the one that really got me on first listen. The other two, I was like, these are solid Nevertel songs. This is the one that was like, oh yeah, this is the Nevertel that I want to hear.
what
I
I
think
really
this is the weakest for me, but that's not to say, like,
it's like the weakest of like three golden eggs.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I love all. I like this album is gonna be incredible.
Oh, it's gonna be
dude.
phenomenal. I'm so excited for it. I hope it's next year.
I love the way that Raw just like slowly builds up hype before Jeremy goes nuts in the breakdown of this song.
Jeremy's
that's
screams
really
in
what
these
happened,
last
yeah.
three singles have been surprise but really good.
I just feel like their dynamic between the two of them is just as good as ever in this song.
But one thought I was trying to get out for the last minute or so, and I keep forgetting it. I really like how Raul and Jeremy's vocals in these three singles kind of switch off a little bit. Like you get this song that's very prominent with Jeremy's vocals, You get Through the Machine, which was very prominent with Raul's vocals, with Jeremy backing. Modified, I think, was kind of like a flip between the two. Like, I don't know which one really was more prominent in that one, but I really like how these 3 singles, like alone, just kind of really define this band. The breakdown in this is also really good.
Yep. Yeah, Nevertel stay dropping bangers.
I think my only like gripe with this is that like maybe the like first 2 minutes you take away like the instrumentals, I think could really go with really any other band. But I think Jeremy makes this work.
Yeah, I feel like Jeremy's just such a good singer that there's only so much you can do to like drag him down in any way, as opposed to him making something else shine. Like, I agree, instrumentally this isn't like their best work, but it's also still solid, and both vocalists sound just as good as ever.
Dude,
How many monthly listeners are they at now? Let's see.
I'm about to say it right now.
470,000.
Jeez.
Tor! Do
I'm
it, damn
gonna say
Tor!
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
Uh-huh.
This is my most anticipated album of 2024.
Oh,
Damn.
fuck.
Nice.
You know,
Of what I have confirmed.
I was about to say, I think I might have to agree with you.
I cannot make that same call for what is maybe obvious reasons, but I'm still definitely very excited for this.
Man,
This is like one of my 3 that I'm like, know that it's gonna be good.
this is so fucked up for me because every single year for the past like 3 years, I'm like, all right, my next most anticipated albums
I know.
for the year are Issues, I See Stars, and Too Close to Touch. And then it's just been back to back to back.
Cool.
So safe to say, it is no longer I See Stars. So shout out Nevertel.
It's also
And no longer
issues with
issues.
it.
Yeah, it's
with
definitely
the
no
final
longer
show.
Issues.
F.
At least Too Close to Touch can be my most anticipated EP. Hopefully, please give me something. Show me something.
I think with this next song, we're getting a bit of a preview into our awards season.
You know, I don't know, guys. I don't. Carly Hansen has dropped her newest single starting tomorrow.
It's just a bad phase. I'll be different starting tomorrow. I know that I said it before.
Which, you know, in saying that does kind of change the vibe of, or differ from the vibe of the album that she dropped earlier this year. Not to say that it's any less emotional, but it's a lot of different subject matter. As opposed to this, which is a very honest, I guess, kind of narrative of somebody struggling with substance abuse in their mid-20s, which is like really personal, I guess, and kind of hits home a little bit for me too. Just the whole concept of like trying to change and struggling with it and realizing like what changes you need to make and not being able to make them type of thing. And I kind of like the double entendre isn't the right word, maybe double meaning of, because it's 5 p.m. today, like it was yesterday when I watched my hands up turning a new page, and the like contrast between my hands are up and they're turning a new page as I'm making that change in my life versus they're upturning a new page, like upturning as in one word, and saying that the actions that she's doing with her hands have reset that cycle and that constant back and forth of change versus falling back into it. I don't know. I thought it was really simple, but really,
Bro,
really
I'm not gonna
interesting.
lie.
What's up?
I don't know what you just said. It was not simple at all.
Oh, my bad. Let me hand you the reins, man. I don't know. I guess I what I really enjoy about Carly Hansen's music is the honesty of it and the storytelling and how she can do a lot with a little. Especially on the album, she paints a lot of pictures with the lyrics, and it's very relatable for like anybody. Probably I'd say 18 through like 25. Just a very, very interesting, because I think she's also 23 or 24, and so you kind of get that parallel life experience of somebody who's just trying to make it in the world type of thing. But this was a little more upbeat and less fucking indie country than I put with that feature from the last one. So I was like, what the hell? I'll throw it in. It kind of gave me a little bit of some of like Ren for Short in a way in terms
It's okay,
of
it's
physical
emo.
content, but
It
yeah,
counts.
exactly. As long as it's sad enough, we can throw it in.
Yup.
Justin, Jake, Jacob, did y'all fuck with this?
I enjoyed
good.
this.
It was okay.
I don't think it's something I'm gonna go back to super often, but like of the Carly Hansen songs that I've checked out based on your recommendations, I enjoyed this one a fair bit.
Let's
compared to
go.
the Other ones. So
Compared to the others, I'll take it. Well,
this
who
one's more
knows?
my tempo.
I'll take it. This may not be the last time we talk about Carly Hansen, guys. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I almost said when you were talking about the album that you can just save this for next episode.
Yeah. A song that I hope we will overall be higher on as a group is the, I'll say, newest released single by Oni, Spark, featuring Sueco.
Can't get back all the time that I gave to you. For my sins, I repent. There's a hole in my chest with a mile wide radius. There's a spark that ignites and we all play.
Which I didn't find out until like 2 minutes ago was actually off an album that dropped in October, and he re-released this as a single so it would get traction, and I didn't realize it and thought it dropped this month, but
That's so weird.
we'll go for it anyway. One of my friends actually sent me this. I'm familiar with Sueco, but I've never heard
Wait.
Oni.
I've seen Oni live.
What?
I totally forgot until
What the
I looked at
fuck?
the picture. Yeah, I saw them with Star Set.
Oh. Well, I guess that genre combination
That
checks
makes a lot
out
of
here.
sense, yeah.
You know,
Did
there's
you guys
been a
watch the
lot
music
of-
video for this? 'Cause
No,
where
I
went.
didn't.
No.
I went to the music video to check this one out because I figured if Sueco's on it, Sueco's a pretty big artist. You probably are gonna get Sueco for a music video type of thing.
Mhm.
And if you watch the music video, you'll see where the Star Set comparison comes in. It is very futuristic, like cyber robotic type shit. Yeah, this is good. I really like this.
I was hoping to rope a couple people in with this one. I was genuinely surprised. I feel like there's been a lot of good, just hard rock this year. There's been like a little bit of a hard rock revival. It's felt. I mean, I guess I'm not as involved in that side of things anymore as like Jake or Justin are. But I feel like past couple of years have been kind of stagnant, whereas this year has been like a lot of different hits for me, including this, which is now another fucking album that I have to check out before.
I'm also going to
award
be checking
shows
out
that we're doing
the
that.
album at some. I don't know if I'm getting to it before awards show, but I'm trying to hit 100 albums this year. And if this is number 99 on December 30th this year, it's number 99 on December 30th this
Hey,
year.
you gotta get in there. Time will tell. I don't know. We'll see if it'll make. If a hard rock album makes my top 10 in the year 2023,
That
who
says a
knows
lot
what
about
2024
2023.
holds. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Nah, I'd say hard rock was pretty good this year, but for me, Enemy carried it on their backs.
As they should, as per usual. Enemy killing it forever and always.
Always.
Justin.
Hello, I'm on my bullshit. We have a new band for the podcast. Modern Tiger with their single Now or Never.
Where are they from?
They're, Iowa.
Oh.
No
Okay.
purple
That's not
cards for
Europe.
your bingo card. This
Fuck it.
song
Let's
is
just put Iowa. Iowa's a new country in Europe, guys. Earth DLC patch
right,
update.
right next to
Honestly,
Boston.
where is Iowa?
Beneath Minnesota.
Yeah,
Okay,
somewhere
I know where
below
that
you.
is.
I'm gonna be so for real, man. The only thing in that entire state is corn, soybeans, and rocks. That's it.
Yeah.
That is literally all
music.
Iowa has to
And
offer.
rock
And-
music.
yeah, rocks and rock music apparently.
And Modern Tiger.
Yes.
This band is pretty good. This song is weird because I didn't mention it, but apparently Cantervice is featured on it.
What?
Cool.
Spotify had them listed as a feature, which is how I found this song. And I think it's Rob's vocals in the breakdown, but I can't tell otherwise. And
Well,
Spotify have
ask
since removed
them
their
directly.
feature, so it's like, I mean, I could. I think I saw Cantervice retweet this, so
See,
I-
It looks like Rob wrote and produced it at least. Looking
That's
at the
probably
credits.
why. But yeah, the song is pretty good.
I really liked it.
Yeah. If it's Rob Zorgels, I think he did a phenomenal job in the breakdown because it fits. That breakdown fade out at the end was also really good. I liked the electronics in the throughout it. I think it just had like a really good vibe and energy to it.
That was my favorite.
This one
part
didn't connect with me as much as the Oni song we just talked about, but it's solid. Like, it's not doing anything wrong per se. It's just also not really standing out to me.
Yo, guys, I had to say this because I was looking at Canada Rice's Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know earlier this year they retweeted the Browning?
Well, yeah, because the Browning's on Fix now, right?
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't
that's
escape
why.
the Browning.
What a great
I don't have
name.
that on my bingo card, Jacob. We need to add it.
Dude, I should start adding the Vine boom sound effect whenever we say that Browning.
Browning. I like the band name's in all caps too, isn't it? If it's not, it should be. 'Cause in my head, I'm just looking at like a big bold, like the Browning, like
Impact text on the screen.
yup, massive bold impact text, just 3D projected in the air.
What a great name for a band.
Shout out the Browning. Shout out Modern Tiger.
Shout out.
You're right.
All right, here we go.
For a sentence I never thought I'd say on this podcast, shout out Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all are fucking tripping. Megan Thee Stallion has released a rock remix of Cobra featuring Spiritbox.
Crazy, and they low key hating, so they ain't gonna say shit. Damn, I finally see I'm killing myself, and bitches will carry me back. This pussy depressed. I'm about to stress it. Yeah, opinions round his neck.
Jacob is a fucking hater for no reason. He is not a hottie. Okay, real hotties know how much this fucks.
This kind of fucks, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jake. Thank you.
This
You
kind of
got
fucks.
the guy that listens to Women Core to agree with you. Who are you on?
Okay, but there's a difference between like Women Core and Megan Thee Stallion. Like, let's draw a line here, okay?
Guys
Look,
are back.
Welcome back. You're just in time to hear about one of the best songs of the month.
Mm-mm.
This is the most important collaboration that the scene has had since the Linkin Park Jay-Z collab on them Encore.
I can, you know what? That's fair. You can say that. Does it mean it's good?
It's up there.
No.
Why is it? So why is this not good?
I don't like it. It's rap.
Right? You know, wait. Actually, that's a very fair take.
kind of base take, actually, just straight up.
It takes too long to get to Courtney, and then like whatever.
I think maybe some missing context here, I guess, is that Megan Thee Stallion is all about like mental health, and like she's got a brand called like Bad Bitches Have Bad Days Too.
Are you sure she's about mental health? I read these lyrics, man.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is it's like, yeah, that doesn't mean she's about her own mental health, but in a genre that is largely dominated, especially by like there's a lot of female self-sexualization in the genre, as well as a lot of male sexualization of women in terms of like all the rappers want strippers, and God, lots of albums this year dropped and they're all talking about, you know, getting her off the pole and this and that. And like Megan's got some hot girl shit like that, but there's also a lot of like honest introspection into her own life and mental health that doesn't really ever get explored in rap as often, or at least by big artists. And so like there are a lot of lyrics in here that are very like straightforward and like from an outside perspective a little cringy, but for like her brand and like as somebody who listens to Megan, like it's par for the course and honestly really needed to like refresh the genre a little bit and bring people back to earth. I don't really know how this came about. I think Megan reached out to Spiritbox, and
I forget where I saw it, but Courtney did an interview with some radio station that talked about it, and I forget exactly what went down. But there is somewhere out there on the internet, there's something to talk about how this came to be.
I want to say
the one thing I remember about it is that Courtney like sent over the vocals for it, and the song came out like a day or two later.
Yeah, Megan, because I remember I watched the same thing, and Megan she sent it to him, and originally Courtney wasn't at the end for the final mix, but Megan listened to it. She's like, I like everything. Put Courtney again at the end. Ship it out tomorrow. I want it out by tomorrow. So they had to go pick Dan, their producer, up from his birthday party with his family so they could go get this done. I don't know. I think it works perfectly. I love this. This is honestly one of my favorite
When Courtney
songs
does the harsh vocals, like harmonizing with Megan's rap in like the second verse, I think it's so fucking crisp.
Exactly. And especially
So
she's got
good.
her cleans in the background too on top. I like it. Oh.
Like, don't get me wrong, I could care less about the lyricism in this song, but to my ears, the sound that is entering my ears is good.
This is gonna be a lot, because like my girlfriend's a big Megan fan, and like her sister's like an elder emo, so she grew up listening to like Pierce the Veil and stuff like that, but she's not really into this much at all. She fucking loves this song, and I guarantee you there are plenty of other people out there like her who are gonna use this as a gateway. I mean, I don't know. For people who I would say don't delve really into like actual like pop rap and stuff like that, this is going to be off-putting for a lot of people, but this is like a weird dream collab for me, and I liked it a lot.
Fever Dream collab.
Exactly. I remember seeing this drop and like double taking at my phone.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? Why is this here? I couldn't believe it, but Courtney's feature on it is amazing, and it just works amazingly in my opinion. I love this, and I want to see Spiritbox succeed a lot off of this, and I want to see more collabs like this. We got Uzi with Bring Me, we got Spiritbox with Megan. I need some more like rap rock crossovers here, because this is I'm eating good.
We're gonna have Imagine Dragons and Sleep Token.
Wow. Yeah. They can finally make an Imagine Dragons song listenable. That's crazy.
Let's move on to something that's a little more normal. Actually, I don't know about that, honestly.
Yeah.
Siamese have dropped a brand new song, On Fire. This is my first song in the playlist, by the way. I feel like this is the latest a Jake song has ever appeared in a playlist, at least in recent memory.
That's
anyway.
true.
We're 8 songs in, and this is the first Jake song. I mean, you could argue that I could have added Written by Wolves or Nevertel, but whatever. This blows The Shape of Water out of the water.
Yeah.
Or are they doing like an Elements thing?
Maybe. I don't know. They very well could be.
The tour that they're on uses the same artwork and calls it the Vertigo tour, so I don't think that's the case.
It's called the what, sorry?
Vertigo
tour.
The next single is going to be a cover of No Air by Jordan Sparks. Let me just need one about the earth.
So this is a weird one because it starts out, you get this really like anthemic vocal to open into the song before you get into this crazy riff, and then it just completely 180 turns into this like EDM trance beat almost.
Dude, I'm all for all this experimentation. This is
yeah,
pretty cool.
This is really cool, and one of my favorite songs of the month, honestly.
Me too.
The Shape of Water left me very underwhelmed. This blew me away from first listen, and I think a lot of it just has to do with how strong that riff comes in. The delivery of just like On Fire before the riff, and then you also get the fake out where it fakes you out thinking the breakdown's gonna go like dubstep for like a split second, but then it actually just drops into a typical like guitar riff central breakdown, and this is a banger if I've ever heard one. This is highly recommend for anyone that likes a bit of EDM influenced with their metalcore.
I have a take on this.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not surprised. That doesn't
Here's
surprise me.
Weird for Justin.
What about this? What is not clicking for you, Justin? That's what I want to know.
It's the fact that it's Siamese and they're doing mostly electronic. So my favorite song from Siamese is Can't Force the Love, where that is heavily influenced by strings and instrumentals, and like it is very much like non-electronic song. So when you get this influenced into that electronic sound, it feels foreign to me.
Dude, I can totally relate, because I remember when Skillet was doing their singles for, what is that album, Unleashed, and I was like, they removed like all the strings and put in like electronics instead, and I was like, nope, not into this.
Yeah, I liked The Shape of Water better, but like both of them like combined, I don't know. I think you're taking away a part of Siamese for me by removing that the instrumental portion of it, like the instruments. A big portion of why I liked Siamese in general and why I clicked with them was that music video for Can't Force the Love, where the violins and like the colors and everything. That has yet to be rivaled, and the song just doesn't do it for me.
This song definitely doesn't reach the same peaks that their last album did. Like, I will take a Can't Force the Love or Sloboda or what's the other one I really like? I forget. Heights Above, the opener. I really like that one too. Like, this is not reaching the same peaks as it's getting close in my opinion. But I do think that Siamese did excel with the strings and violins in their music. I'm also just really stoked about seeing this electronic side of their music. This really works for me. Mm-hmm. This is like, you take a Waves by Letters Sent Home, merge it with like a Glass Heart by Caskets into some sort of fusion of the two, and I really fucking love it.
I am okay with this being like an experiment, but I don't want this to be where their full sound goes. And it was already kind of pushing it with some of the songs off Home.
Speaking of bands that I don't want their sound to be going in the direction of their latest single, Stand Atlantic have dropped their newest single, Sex on the Beach.
Yo, I totally agree, Derek.
I
was obsessed with this song for a grand total of an hour, and then I've gone back to it like twice. I got so obsessed with the teaser that they posted for this song and like the crazy ass riff before the breakdown where it's like, bang your fucking head. And I was like, oh, this is going to be one of Stand Atlantic's best songs. And then it comes out and I'm just like still riding that wave of hype. But then I listened to it some more and it's kind of just fine.
It doesn't work. I don't get it. I literally don't understand it. It's so disjointed and like strange. It's like, I love the verses, then the chorus's energy feels completely unearned to me. The like cadence on, what is it, Sex on the Beach, Sipping Suicide, I Want to Kill Your vibe. It's like, like it just, the delivery on it is like a complete, I think this is the first genuine miss that this band has maybe ever had. And I love the breakdown. Breakdown's sick. Verses are sick. The chorus, I don't like it, but it's catchy. But when you put it all together, it just, I don't feel like it works. This is just like a single that exists.
Yeah. Like when this first came out, I was convinced, oh, this is so much better than Killer as a single. But I think for as like apathetic as I was towards Killer, I've listened to that song more than this one.
Yeah, I really liked Killer quite a lot. It's fallen off a little bit, but yeah, like you said, it's still better than this. Like
I don't like either, but Killer's better.
Yeah. I think it's been really interesting because I was wondering how long they'd be able to make their next album better than the last. Like, I thought Skinny Dipping was better than their debut EP. I thought Pink Elephant was better than Skinny Dipping. I thought Fear was better than Pink Elephant. And I was like, damn, how do they keep doing it? And I think I even said in our review of it that I was like, how long are they going to keep doing this? Yeah. I think we got our answer. I think
we might have gotten our answer. Time will tell. Like, it is Stand Atlantic. Their track record is near flawless. They can turn this shit around at any instant.
I'm gonna talk all this shit, and then
But-
neither of them are gonna be on the album, and they're just gonna drop like a 14-track banger that's just the best thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Very, very, very probable even. Stand Atlantic are not a band that you really want to bet against.
No, never. Continuing the trend of bands releasing bad songs, Jacob, how about you tell us about this next one?
Icy Stars have released Damage Done.
We're just damaged. We're just damaged.
Has this band done some damage done to their career?
I want to
Yes.
go to a concert and throw a tomato at them.
Oh, okay.
I'm sick of this shit. I'm actually starting to get mad.
Yeah, we need to, Devin. We need to stop with this weird yell thing.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
Just
I don't know.
axe it all together. This is like the wrong thing.
We need to
like
make a
such a-
U-turn. Go back.
Such a talented vocalist too, and it's like, why are you doing that?
I was gonna say, I feel like
I think
Yeah.
that's like literally what makes me hate it. It feels like it feels like he doesn't care the way he sounds in it.
you're right. It's missing like the power and passion that Treehouse had.
Yeah.
I just, man, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, it's got these incredible vocalists, like you said, doing either weird shit with his voice that doesn't work or what feels like holding himself back. They've got electronics, another selling point, that feel incredibly restrained and like they're barely even there. They've got I think Luke Holland did drums on this entire album. Luke Holland, incredibly talented drummer. I have yet to hear anything that really stands out to me as like, damn, I'm really impressed with the instrumentation. Like, it just, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I'm really like actively sad about this. Like, 7 years between Treehouse and this, and these four are the best we can do. I don't know.
I thought, what was that single called? Are We Even?
That's still the best one for me.
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
Yeah.
I'd
still
say
go
it's
back to that one.
close between Are We Even and this one. I enjoyed this more than I expected to. I similarly haven't gone back to it very much. It's very fine. I also just don't think I care as much because I was never the biggest IC Stars fan in the first place.
Mm.
So it's hard for me to get as, I guess, angry about them not delivering. Because I
Yeah.
never had that expectation in the first place. This song's fine. There's a decent breakdown here. And like, I almost wish this band would go softer. Like, I want them to, like,
Jake,
it sounds
have
like
I
have.
introduced you to
They have.
Treehouse?
They
Even
have gone
softer. even softer.
Not soft enough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I really like the cover art. If I can say one positive thing about this song is I like the art for it. It almost reminds me a little bit of the Prada of Color Decay.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, it reminds me of Color Decay.
Not like explicitly, but as close as I can get. I don't know. I see all of Devin's work on Shy Beast and like fully leaning into the electronics and the full range of his voice. I'm like, fuck, man, we had 7 years of the band off. We had 7 years of Shy Beast. And what? Like, this is what we get? I don't know. I've given up. I'm still going to listen to every single single that this band puts out just for some hope of redemption, but
That's me with Poppy. I am like 4 years deep into listening to everything Poppy puts out, hoping anything will get close to I Disagree.
I feel like
No.
you and I are both in for a long ride.
Unfortunately, probably.
But we got a good band coming up here, Jake.
We do. East Capri have dropped their second
What?
single of the year. Veil Vision.
Missed one.
I did miss one.
Bro is so excited to talk about East Capri. He heard good
He
band. He
was
was like,
one of
yes.
his babies.
Oh, this is also one of his. Yeah. Get in here, Jake.
Red Hook have dropped their first new single since their debut album earlier this year. New song, Tourist.
Now I'm taking myself back. You're just a tourist. I quit ya. You came into my life to take bitches. Bitch, I promise forever. Then jumped on the next shit. Hope you had enough.
So there's some fun lyrics in this song. The song opens up with "Just want to crawl up in a ball for the next 24 hours or more." Who can relate? And then this also has a very catchy chorus of the "You're just a tourist, I quit ya. You came into my life to take pictures," of someone that just like wants to be your friend to brag to other people type thing is kind of the vibe I get here. Or it's about a relationship and some like trying to be with like the popular kid or whatever. Something like that. I don't really know. Either way, this is a very fun Red Hook song. And if it were on the album, it would be like up there. It's probably one of the better songs on their album from earlier this year. It's just another solid kind of pop rock, post-hardcore-ish. I always struggle to define what genre to put this band under, because they do kind of hop around all sorts of subgenres of rock and metal fairly frequently, so it's always a surprise with what you're going to get with this band. And yeah, I don't really have a ton to say about this one. This is just a solid Red Hook song.
Continues a trend from earlier this year with their album, which was also pretty solid. I feel like Red Hook is one of those bands that I'll never expect something like incredibly profound from them, but that's not their job. They just create consistently good, fun music that's fun to listen to. I'm very happy with this, as I was their album.
Anyways.
Okay, Jake. It's time for you. We finally got there.
2 minutes later. East Capri have dropped their brand new song, Veil Vision. Dare I say this is my favorite of the singles. Not my favorite song of the month. Favorite single of the month.
You may dare. I disagree, but you may dare. Proceed.
I'm just gonna go out and say that, like, this band is not winning my award for Most Improved Band of 2023, but my god do they deserve it. Between this song and Queen Out, this band has gone from a band that Justin recommended me and was like, yeah, this band has potential, to, oh shit, this band has so much potential and is one of the most promising small post-hardcore bands that I am listening to right now. This shit is incredible.
Australia.
Yeah, that's just Australia, but like, this is more promising than a lot of Australian bands on my radar right now.
That's fair. This is really good.
Like, at this point, I could argue I am more excited for an East Capri EP than a future Red Hook album.
I think you take.
Well, we understood that. That's why you skipped Red Hook.
Yeah, I think you take Wake and Repeat, their last EP. You dial that up to 100%, and you get what they're doing now.
Wake and Repeat was fine.
Yeah,
was
I think they
very fine.
Severely leveled up.
Yeah, severely leveled up is exactly where I put it. Like, these guys deserve. Like, I'm sad that I'm not going to be able to give them my award for Most Improved Band of the Year. They absolutely deserve it. There are very few bands that I feel like have noticeably gotten this much better in seemingly out of nowhere. This new era or style or whatever the fuck they're doing is working on all fronts for me. Like, 2023 has been a year defined by female-fronted rock and metal bands taking the spotlight for the most part. And East Capri is one of the most promising non-female fronted bands in the genre for me at this point.
I really liked his vocals all throughout this. I think the portion at the end where you lose the instrumentals and you get that like almost kind of R&B style vocal delivery, I think of that kind of leads me off the song just a little bit. I feel like
that's what makes me really like it. I like that kind of R&B, like trap hip hop ish muddled.
I like the experimentation with it, but it makes it hard for me to go back to it.
I feel like it just adds a lot of style to this song. It adds a lot of intrigue to me.
I will say it's still a good song, and I think if I had one more single this year, I think East Capri would have gotten my award too.
It is hard to give a band an award for most improved when they've only dropped 2 songs. That is very fair as well. But like, God, the Clean Out and this are both incredible. I want to shout out some of the lyrics and the vocal delivery. The vocal delivery on the pre-chorus of "But I Know That I Can't Stop. I've Got Veil Vision, Baby." Fantastic. And then, yes. And then in the chorus itself, "Feels like I'm missing your crooked love. You know I'm counting on you. Yeah, to come break me in two. Yeah." I'm not a singer. I can't do the inflections that
You got it, Jake.
sing. Nope. You're not getting that on recording. It's gonna be cursed. But yeah, just vocally incredible. The guitars on this song, I think that's really a big thing for me. The guitar work on this song is just phenomenal. And yeah, I feel like I've said everything that I could say to praise this song. I'm very excited for what this band has cooking going into 2024.
Supposedly it's another EP, but who knows? It could have evolved to an album at this point.
Fuck it, top 5 EP 2024. You heard it here first.
I don't think that's too hard.
Like, if these 2 songs, you put these 2 songs and you put 3 songs that are as good as, I think, what was the best song? Wake and Repeat was the best song off that debut EP, right? Or am I forgetting? Danger Myself. No, Danger Myself. You put a song that's like as decent or like close enough to Danger to Myself next to Veil Vision and Clean Out on an EP, and we're talking top 3 EP this year.
I mean, if they were to put out an EP this year, I think it would have topped a lot of lists for both me and you. EPs this year were kind of mid.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. We've got our 3rd Australian band in a row. 5th Dawn with The Day Brings.
The lines were blurred at best. A message was sent.
Yeah, it's very weird that we categorized like 2 bands that we didn't like songs going together, and then 3 bands that are all Australian.
Checks out.
4 bands if we switched Icy Stars to Stan Atlantic.
Yeah, true, actually. So I just need to reiterate that Samantha has one of the most beautiful and elegant voices in any band I've ever heard. Just the inflection and like control that she has over her voice is stunning. I feel like there's nothing quite like it.
It's beautiful.
This genre. Like, it's such a big appeal to this band, let alone like the instrumentation. I feel like is just getting better and better. In Between had a lot more, I feel like, groove to it, whereas this, it almost feels more like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe. I almost want to say like orchestral. Like, I imagine this, like, especially when you get to the like kind of riff down, breakdown type of thing at the end of this song. It's the type of thing that makes you kind of just want to like sit back and like let the wind blow across your face type of thing. Am I tripping for that?
I don't think so. I think that's very fair.
It's very fast. It's very like in your face. I don't know why, but it reminds me of Caskets. That's like the second time I've referenced them for some reason this episode. But
I really like the vocals on this one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a stunning vocalist. I'm so glad that they're back. I have to assume that this band is dropping an album next year. I think. And they're off to a pretty strong... Between this and In Between, there's a lot of potential. Dark horse potential for sure next year. Can you guys think of like any other bands to relate like the instrumental breakdown riff down thing to? Because I was only thinking of Caskets, but I don't think it's Caskets. But there's a band and a breakdown that this very vividly reminds me of, and I can't put a name to it. Or any other band names coming to mind. Please, I need help. It's bothered me all month. It's bothered me all month.
I couldn't think so, honestly. I want to say maybe like, well, no. I think, well, you know what? Honestly, I think that's part of the appeal of this.
Make them suffer.
Maybe. Honestly. Feels like a weird comparison to make the 5th Dawn of all bands, but honestly, you might be onto something. Yeah, very excited for what this band has coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imminence have released their newest single, Death by 1,000 Cuts.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Which I saw live. And was honestly the most disappointing song in the set.
Really?
Damn.
Yes.
Wow.
It felt like a lot of muttering, in my opinion.
Mm.
Maybe they're unpracticed. I don't know. Because it was like, what, 10 days old when I saw them?
Yeah.
2 weeks old.
I really enjoyed the delivery on the line "Death by 1,000 Cuts." Just the way that Eddie screams that line into like the chorus.
See, yeah, that
really was awesome.
The muttering I meant like in the verses.
Fair, yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this song. I don't think I like it as much as Desolation.
I like it more than
This-
Heaven Shall Burn, that's for sure.
This grew on me a lot. And also, I don't know why people are complaining that there's no violin. I can clearly hear it in the verses. I don't know. I saw some Twitter stuff about that. I was like, "There's no violin." It's like, are you, or do you need your ears fixed or something? It's like,
Need him retuned.
there's clearly a violin in the verses. Yeah, I really like. It feels a little bit different. I like how they're experimenting a little bit with these singles. Well, at least with Come Hell or High Water and this one now. I really like Eddie's vocal inflection, especially near the end, where he says like, "Do you bleed for something, or do you die for nothing?" Also, the music video where they're screaming one by one as they're getting swarmed with like locusts or whatever is awesome.
Imminence music videos are just always top notch.
Mm.
They have some of the best music videos in the scene, for sure.
I don't understand like half of what's going on in them, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the best Imminence song. I'm not gonna lie.
At the take.
I'm putting it out there. That's my take for the episode.
Hmm.
The one where I'm isolated. At least I had Jake on the Megan take. This one I'm on my own little island. I've been
I haven't heard
very.
Justin say anything yet.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on.
Sorry, I stepped away for a moment. This is okay.
Oh.
It doesn't beat anything off of the
Turn the light on.
Yeah.
I thought you'd say that.
Man, I don't know. Something about this is really speaking to me. I wasn't feeling most of Heaven in Hiding. In retrospect, there isn't a lot.
I went back to that album after seeing them. Oh my god, I changed my mind 180. I want to redo the review. Can you review the Deluxe album?
Take it down.
Yeah, take it down.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, we don't know what happened to the VOD, guys. Here's a re-upload. Well, I guess if Justin and I go see him next year, then I'll have to go back to Heaven in Hiding and see what's going on.
And honestly, like after 2 years removed now, I can finally forgive them for the way they released it. So it is honestly like there's no misses on it. I don't think it flows as well as Turn the Light On, but still good. North Lane have released newest single Dante. And is there any uncleans in this?
I don't think so. I didn't hear any.
So.
Is that a first for Northland? I feel like it might be.
I think.
And honestly, I'm not complaining.
I was gonna say, I think the only other time there haven't been any is for that acoustic EP. So this is like the first official one, I want to say.
Maybe? I'm not too sure on it, honestly.
I'm not either. But this is really good.
It's a little long, in my opinion.
It is. It definitely feels like a context of the album single. I don't know about it as a lead single. If it's even attached to anything, I mean, I guess I assume it is, but it's very vibey. Like, I don't know, This is one of the songs this year where I feel like the vibe of the song really matches the cover art. Like this is
looks like something at a Squid Game.
It does actually. You're right. Fuck. Man, I don't know. I was curious to see where the band would go after Obsidian, and I feel like to that point, this does make sense, but it doesn't. But I'm still intrigued, and I like where they're headed.
I honestly, Northlane without Uncleans, I'm not complaining.
No, me either.
Northlane without Uncleans should be right up my alley. It's not.
It's still
very
progressive
bored.
though. Like the instruments are still complex, and so
This song is doing no favors to the idea in my head of removing the entirety of Obsidian from my playlist.
Oh, well.
oof.
They dropped this single, and Jake's like, man.
Well, no, because that's what I added like 3 of the singles heading into Obsidian, and I listened to Obsidian in full, and I'm like, damn, I want to remove all of them from my playlist.
Alien is still my favorite Northlane album.
I think mine is probably. Oh, why am I forgetting?
Node.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely Node.
Or what is it? Mesmer.
No. I think it would probably be Node and then Mesmer and Obsidian. But I think this is honestly better than a lot of my favorite songs off of that. Honestly, you know what? I think this is my 3rd favorite Northlane song. I'm gonna put that out there.
3rd favorite.
3rd favorite behind Clockwork and Weightless. I'm not an Alien guy. I tried. I don't know what it is. You know what? Actually, I do know what it is. I think this band has a certain way of mixing things where the vocals feel a little lost sometimes, but I think for the vibe of this song, it works. That's my grand take. After my previous Imminence one, I tuned it down a little bit.
A lot of proggy bands don't want to like highlight the vocals.
Yeah,
they want to highlight the instruments, but I'm more of like, I want the vocals on top.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not a huge prog fan. But Northlane have made me like it, so interested to see where this goes for this album cycle if it's attached to one.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of a band that's not proggy, well, kinda. Jake, how about you tell us about this next one?
Cartographer have dropped their brand new single, Rewind.
Not my strongest transition.
For those unaware, Rewind is an alternative metal band out of California, and
give me Cartographer.
Dylan from Loveless, the drummer / instrumentalist for Loveless, is also the guitarist in this band. So for any fans of Loveless, yeah, we're a little crossover. Any fans of Loveless should give this band a listen. Entirely clean vocals, female fronted, alternative metal, no harsh vocals. This is straight up my alley. If they're like, this is, if you were asked to define Jake's music taste in 2023, this is about as bog standard as you can get to like broadly describe what I have been into this year. This is so up my alley, it's not even funny. Like, I know last month we were talking about how Stereo by Anchor is about like the most Jake song you have ever heard. I think this takes the crown over Anchor.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. If it doesn't take it, then it's now got split custody. Like, this is a Jake band through and through. I'm not as high on I really like Vertigo. Vertigo is easily my favorite song by them. I don't think this hits the same height as that, but it's still damn good for a band with less than 1,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah. Like, the production is really solid. Vocals are great. I really like some of the lyricism in this song. Especially the delivery on let's not make this any harder than it has to be. Really like that part. You get a bit of a guitar solo in this song, too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is not my favorite Cartographer song of the 5 songs they've put out, but I really enjoyed this. I'd say I still like Sanctuary and Colorblind a little bit more, but this is a really solid song, and if you haven't heard of Cartographer, highly recommend checking them out.
This is super weird because I'm posted about them years ago in 2021, knowing
Did
that the
you?
instrumental was. Yeah, I looked it back up in our Discord. They had an
That's
EP that
weird,
was out back
because
in
they're
2021, and that EP is no longer there.
Yeah. Bizarre.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found this band and I was like, oh shit, they just came out this year. Like they dropped their debut single this year. Maybe not, I guess. I don't know.
I've been around since 2021. I think what happened, was they were instrumentals only back in 2021, and then they added the
maybe.
female vocalist in
Maybe.
the recent iteration.
Song also starts out with some strings, by the way. For the strings enjoyers out there.
Justin, that's you and me.
Hey,
I thought this song
And
was
anyone that
okay.
might be listening. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say.
A
Let's
song
get
that
loud.
Jake will be the opposite on is this new Alpha Wolf song called "Bring Back the Noise."
There's one part of the song that I enjoy.
Is it where my dog's
it's when
at?
it
Where
ends.
my dog's at. Okay, there's two parts that I
It's-
enjoy.
It's the big bad where my dog's at.
Where my dog's at. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's
Yo, we gotta
just-
show. Wait,
I feel
Jake,
like
have you been
Alpha
counting
Wolf-
worms? You have to have, right?
What?
By
Maybe.
Knocked Loose.
I don't know if I have.
Oh my god.
Is
What
that
has
the
it
Arf
been
Arf
heard?
song?
Yeah, it's the Arf Arf song.
I think I've heard it. I think I've heard that one, yeah. I just don't know it by name. But yeah, the Where My Dog's At line feels like, it feels so on brand for Alpha Wolf. I feel like they
They've
make
done
pissed
it-
off music, but know how to make it fun.
They've done it before too. I'm blanking on the song name. Hang on. Sub-Zero. Crap, what's the lyric? Fuck. Oh yeah, it's you barking like a dog, but I am a fucking wolf. Oh. That's what it is. Yeah, this is really fun. I feel like they're going in more of a direction of, because like the lyricism on this and I guess like Hotel Underground, not really 60 Centimeters of Steel, but they're going towards a more, I don't even know how to describe it, less emo sound, if you know what I mean, like less emo lyricism, if that makes sense. More like a Knocked Loose kind of.
I can't lie, Jacob.
Uh-oh.
I don't like this.
Oh my god. I love this song, dude. Is it because of the lyricism?
No,
'Cause I remember you didn't like Hotel Underground.
I really enjoy when Alpha Wolf incorporates those emo elements into their music that you were talking about. And I think I feel the energy in this, but I'm not attached to it. Like, I'm hearing the energy, but I'm not feeling it. Like, something about this is not clicking with me, so it ends up just sounding like noise. Like, it's a fine song, but I would take everything and anything off of A Quiet Place to Die over this. I don't know. What I will say is I feel like Alpha Wolf are easily one of the best live bands, energy-wise, I've ever seen. And
Oh yeah, you saw them.
I did, and they were fucking phenomenal. And I think that this song would be incredible live. And
I saw it live before it came out, so I didn't know what was going on.
No context.
Yeah.
And I want to see Alpha Wolf live again and see if seeing this live changes my opinion on it and like getting like moshed around to it, because it's definitely a song that I feel like will have that energy because of their stage presence. It's just as a single and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, it feels very Alpha Wolf. It's got the fucking turntables back in it. Like,
yes, that was the next thing I wanted to highlight. Is it sounds like it's from the early 2000s,
right?
It's like Limp Bizkit.
What's the other one from A Quiet Place to Die that has it? I think it's Acid Romance.
All I think of is freaking Concrete Jungle during the freaking breakdown.
Oh, actually, that's so real. Fuck, I hadn't thought about that.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's the reason why that's my favorite song on that album. Just that little turntable sound.
Mm-hmm. Man,
Nostalgia wins.
Nostalgia always wins. If there's anything I've learned. This is good. It's just, I don't know. I'm not super into it. Time will tell with the rest of the album. I just want to see where it leads. I'm hoping they can top A Quiet Place to Die. It's just, this doesn't give me initially the vibes that they will. Justin's got a banger for us next.
Ooh, I love that you start off with banger. Yeah, because this is really a banger. We got Glassheart with their second song this year, dropping called Let It Go. Letting Go.
Let it go.
I can say that right.
Let it go. It is not a Frozen cover.
Guys, Australia doesn't miss.
Australia is
Physically
physically
right
incapable of missing.
We just talked about Alpha Wolf, and Derek said they missed.
Okay, well, I also said Stand Atlantic Misc, so I don't think you can listen to me tonight. I think
Okay.
I'm like,
Oh,
This is,
No.
you know, this is
this is
not been
European.
Australia's.
non-Australian.
there's
Sorry.
statistical anomalies.
They,
I
yeah,
don't know
statistical
why I was
anomalies for Australia this month.
Yeah, it's weird.
Negligible data.
So I was looking at the song, and the song is produced and mastered by the same guy that did the Holding Absence self-titled album.
Oh.
Huh.
What's his name?
Well, it definitely gives me that vibe.
Abel. Or Abe Fahima, I believe. I'm looking at
Hmm.
his Instagram right now. This song is really good. I think Glassheart with this and Colorblind, their sound is far better than the Weathered EP last year. This
I
has
like the
such a like
strings.
the strings are good. It's got a very atmospheric instrumentation to it that flows really well. I love the harsher vocals toward the end. Asking, I've fallen, am I still alive? I'll follow with a peace of mind. The colors fade, the days go by, am I the reason why? And then the chorus going in and the strings kind of picking up, slowing down a little bit, then ending off with a bang. Really good song.
This makes me want a Holding Absence to sound more like this.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
sound like Holding Absence, but just done slightly better. Oh, that's
Mhm.
probably a controversial opinion. I'm gonna get slandered.
No, I agree. I'm all with you. Jake's gonna say it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
then we're gonna talk about Garden.
Before we move on to Garden, I just want to say I feel like the song has a very big flaw for me, and it's that the vocals feel noticeably quiet to me.
You know, fair.
Yeah.
Like
I agree with that.
more
Kinda
so
mixed
than
together.
most other songs, like more than any other song in this playlist, I struggled to hear the guy actually sing.
Yeah, I listened to Colorblind a little bit back, and there's a notable difference in volumes between the instrumentations for both of these songs. So I don't know what it was, but all in all, it still sounds really good.
If the vocals are just like a decibel or two higher, the shit bangs.
Mhm.
But it's just so noticeably quiet that I can't get into it.
Still really good to listen to, though. Strings, man. All right, Garden Enjoyers, let's go.
You take it, Jacob.
Justin and I will tie our tongues.
Garden has released Tongue Tied in
Ugh!
collaboration with
I just thought about what
Flowers.
Jake said. Ugh!
Dead inside. You got me so weak, she's like my kryptonite. Red all on her lips, I'm like, girl. I dreamt of the way that your lips.
Why is that
In
a bad
collaboration
thing?
with Flowers.
Sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
just saying that I don't think Justin didn't have much to say.
I didn't
Here.
even go there, but just so you say that like you and Jake are like tying tongues with each other. Like, is that where your brain went? What the
I was making that statement under the assumption,
like, you
Justin,
were
I
gonna
just
be-
don't have much to
you
say
know what
here.
I'm saying? Thinking Justin's instantly like, bam, hive mind ship. Like, bro bled. What the fuck? Oh God, fuck me. Sorry,
happening?
Jacob. Go ahead, man. Get in
Okay,
there.
let me try this again. Guardin has released Tongue Tied in collaboration with Flowers, which I think is coming, which is an upcoming EP. Between the two of
Yeah.
them.
Man, another artist who's really kind of incapable of missing at this point. I don't think there's been a single Flowers collab that hasn't been fucking awesome. There was Midnight? Yeah, there's Midnight Grove, which was a standalone single for Halloween last year, I believe. I think it was last year. And then, was he on Lifeboat? I want to say he was. No, that was Young Ones. Yeah, Daisies. Daisy is one of my favorite songs off that album. And I know they've got more collabs on SoundCloud, I'm pretty sure. Just two friends who musically work really well together. Their sounds are just similar enough that I think they provide a nice contrast to each other while still making it work. The beat, I think, for me, is the highlight of the song. Like how punchy the bass is while also having that little acoustic guitar melody going in the background, driving everything forward with the vocal melody. You know, it's not like deep like a lot of the stuff on Creatures Together was, but it's a banger. I love this. I thought this was fantastic.
I don't think I've seen a Guardin with lyricism like this, honestly. It's just like lust.
There's oh fuck. What is it? I'm spacing entirely. There have been a couple others like this. But nothing that I guess comes as close to it as this.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's definitely been some Guardin horny posting going on before.
All right. I really enjoyed this though. A little bit of change in lyricism from previous stuff I've heard anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for most of his stuff, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm really happy with this. I feel like Guardin's put out so many good songs this year.
And there's another one tonight.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Fuck. I keep forgetting what day it is. You know, it's been really interesting. I had a couple. Well, you guys know Grant from Out of Orbit.
Yep.
His number one song of the year was Again and Again. And it was
Oh,
like
shit.
really interesting to like see, like I've seen throughout like my real life friends and everything, just certain bands that have like had Tysa Garden or like songs of Tysa Garden, like the way it pervades. It's just a bunch of people anecdotally in my personal life that I didn't really know were into that sort of thing. So it's been kind of neat to see, but I'm craving, I love all these singles. I'm craving another album. I'm not going to lie.
I'm
don't-
ready for this EP.
Yes. This EP, I need it. I need it to
How many
God, I had
Garden
to process
EPs
it.
can Jacob put in his top 5 of the year?
Fuck, man. How many can I put in my top 5 of the year?
Bro, there's only one release this year, okay?
Yep. So be it. Oh, Justin.
Hi, we got another new band for the podcast because I'm a fool.
Always.
This one is actually Australian. We got Sienna Skies with their single Mess off of an upcoming EP titled The Change Only Change is Permanent, out March 8th.
So this is gonna reveal some stuff, but I heard this song and I went to check to see if they had an EP dropping, which is why a certain thing happens later in this episode. Justin, I hope that makes sense now. Why I was looking
I'm
for
so
EPs.
confused.
But yeah, I heard this song, really enjoyed it, and I was like, I want to hear more from this band, and was very pleased to figure out that they have an EP coming out next year.
Yeah. They're touring with Mice and Men in Australia.
Lots of EPs coming out next year.
Good. We need
Yeah,
to make up for
hopefully-
this year.
True.
This is really good. I was surprised by like in their Spotify bio, they suggest they're part of the Australian emo movement. And I can't really tell the emo influence of this. It sounds more like
It's
harsh
lyricism.
rock. Maybe the lyricism, but
Emo is more about the lyricism than anything, I feel like.
I guess. But overall, like, this is really good. The instrumentals work very well. The vocals in the choruses are really good. The harsher vocals were a pleasant surprise. Overall, I think this is really good potential for this band, and they have like 37,000 monthly listeners, so they're obviously doing something right. Been around for 17 years.
Yeah, I only heard the song for the first time today as we're recording this, just catching up on the stuff I hadn't heard from last month. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm definitely excited to hear more from them. I don't have too much to say, because again, I haven't really spent much time with it. If I had spent more time with it throughout the month, I'm sure I would have loved to have said more good things about this, because I did really enjoy it.
Nah, I agree. Let me move on.
Ghost Atlas, aka Jesse Cash from Era, has released new single Lesser Gods.
Applause.
Now, I said it earlier when we were talking about Northland, that Northland with just clean vocals should be straight up my alley. So you take Jesse Cash out of Era, and it should be right up my alley.
Is it?
No.
Fuck.
I am very whelmed.
Have you heard Sacred Organs? You have.
I have not. This is the first Ghost Atlas song I've ever heard.
That's crazy.
That is very.
However, I did realize this came with an album announcement, so surely something on that album will get me. Surely this is just an underwhelming single, and I will find something to enjoy off the album.
You know what's funny is, like, what, 7, 8 years ago, I don't know when it was, I had discovered Ghost Atlas through like because I wanted to use it for like montages. So I was looking for rock music to use, and I stumbled across Ghost Atlas. I was also listening to Era at the time and did not know the two were related, and I didn't find out till like years later. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So,
man, I can't believe this is Jake's first exposure to Ghost Atlas. Sleep Therapy is an incredible album. Honestly, I don't think there's a bad song in the entire Ghost Atlas discography. I'm going to be honest. This is no exception. This took a little bit to grow on me, but once I got used to it, it's fucking phenomenal. Jesse Cash is an amazing vocalist, amazing composer. I have nothing bad to say about him or this song.
yeah, I'm excited for more Ghost Atlas as well.
For sure. It's been how long now? What, 4 years? 5 years?
Something like that. 2019, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was February 2019, so it'll probably been 5 years by the time this drops. It's crazy. Half a fucking decade.
Cool.
Take us away, Justin.
Our final single of the month.
Final single of technically the year as of recording this. We've got Levels, another new band from the podcast, dropping their single Siren Hymn off of their upcoming EP Pulse, dropping February 2nd of next year. The shit fucks.
This is a
This is
banger.
really good. This is really good. This
Justin,
is the
you've been-
best. This is the best new Justin find of the month.
Justin's been very
You know what?
consistent with finds for me this year, I feel like.
Is this better than Glass Heart?
Yes.
No,
I'd say
but
so.
it's very close. They're both very
It's
good.
on level with me, but I would say So I got in this band when Pulse dropped. Pulse is also really good. Highly recommend that one. If you guys really liked this, and sounds like everyone here does.
I can vouch because I went to Pulse after hearing this one because I was like, damn, this is good.
The lineup for EPs next year is looking pretty solid for what we've already talked about. This is really good. This has a really good catchy rhythm, really good riff. The breakdown is a shock to how heavy it goes, but still works in the context of the song. I really liked the chorus, the kind of almost bounce to the lyrics. She's the peak at the top of the highest high. It's just so catchy.
I almost
really
want to
good.
say this is what Varsity would sound like if Varsity was less R&B and more just straight up post-hardcore metalcore.
Ooh, but again, like someone's got to be reincarnated as Michael Jackson, and I don't.
Well,
think
yes,
I don't think the vocalist of Emarosa can do it anymore.
I'm glad Varsity exists and is filling that R&B niche. I'm just saying that Levels, based on this song, reminds me, like, lyrically and like the vocal delivery does remind me of Joey Tyler, but if the song structure was more normal.
Maybe. I don't know who to compare this to. I think it's a familiar sound, but it's not. I don't see this as generic. This is definitely like one of the better songs of the month for me. If Nevertel wasn't on here and maybe Glassheart, I'd say this one's my single of the month.
Top 3 song of the month for Justin. We take it.
Yeah. Wasn't
this
that
is
hard.
another solid find for Justin this year.
That's marking it off my checklist. While we're at the end of the singles, I had another one that I found. It was way too short to add to the playlist. But I'm going to recommend a band that we'll talk about next month called Melrose Avenue. The vocalist featured on an EDM song called Deep End, and it's really good. Highly recommend that single, specifically to you, Derek.
Noted.
So that takes us to our EPs and albums for the year, and unlike every other episode this year, we actually have a not insignificant amount of EPs to talk about here.
Quite a
More EPs than albums, I think.
It's close. So let's get started by talking about the EP of the year.
Okay, he just said it.
I mean,
Write that down. I mean,
Spiritbox have dropped their EP, The Fear of Fear.
There are stranger things I've heard on the outside, separated by an open door.
dun, 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 dun. That was me doing the cellar door intro.
Yeah.
perfect. No notes.
It's almost like I was listening to this.
Perfection. Chef's kiss.
This is really, really good.
EP of the year.
No.
I like the purple cover.
The purple cover is phenomenal. And I think, similarly earlier to how we were talking about how North Lane fits that single art kind of fit the vibe of the song. I feel like the vibe of this album is purple. This is I'm interested to see what you guys think of this, but I think that it might be because they took some of the sound from the Rotoscope EP and blended it with the Eternal Blue sound, and the red and blue made purple. And that's what this EP is. That's my personal headcanon type of thing.
I just thought it was because there's a song called Ultraviolet.
Hey, that is probably the better explanation.
Okay, quick side tangent. There was a lot of drama going on in the Instagram comments about Spiritbox copying As Everything Unfolds because AU dropped Ultraviolet as a song and album earlier this year, and comments don't understand that songs get written like a year in advance. And they're like, I can't believe Spiritbox would copy As Everything Unfolds.
It's
just
fucking
corny.
whatever.
It's just
That
corny.
album wasn't even that good.
Oh, hey, that is a take. That is certainly a take that an individual could have about that album. I think they're both very good. This
Write that
Some-
down. Write that
You know,
Write that down, but maybe for different reasons.
I think. Am I wrong for thinking that Angel Eyes and Cellar Door are the two weakest tracks here?
down.
Yes, Angel Eyes is my second favorite song.
See, that's really
See, I feel like the Void is falling off for me.
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like the beginning is like pretty strong, especially how it like all flows together.
Oh yeah,
Then
for sure.
After Angel Eyes, I'm like,
Can we all agree that Jaded is the best song?
No, but it's second best.
Too Close, Too Late is the best.
Absolutely.
Also, what is the Crimson Key? Has anybody figured it out?
I haven't figured out the Crimson Key. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't like super tried, but
Yeah,
I have
me
no-
either. I wish I had more time to delve into this EP because there is very clearly a story going on from the opening of Cellar Door to the end of Ultraviolet. The amount of references to like the mirror and like closing the loophole in Cellar Door. Angel Eyes, I'm trying to keep it any sense of the frame that I have lost at the door where I leave it, and like the idea that like the mirror is a reflection of yourself. It's almost like a door into yourself type of thing. I don't know. There's something going on lyrically in this EP that is really fucking cool that I haven't been able to put my hands on yet.
as far as I can figure out, it ties in with the fear of fear in the sense that like you're afraid of the repercussions of stepping outside of your shell and working to get rid of the best parts of yourself and eliminate, or the worst parts of yourself and eliminating your self-doubt. The chorus of Too Close, Too Late, where it's like separated by an open door, is like, in my opinion, you could make that step to the other side, but is it the end or is it the beginning? At the end of the chorus, with the uncertainty of like, if I make that change, will it bring about a new me or will it be the end of me type of thing? And as far as I can tell, Cellar Door is dark and heavy, and it's about being stuck behind that door. You were talking about the lyrics just a second ago from Angel Eyes, and Ultraviolet is kind of the colorful explosion of light and change after overcoming that fear of fear and being willing to change.
One of the lyrics in Ultraviolet I had pulled out. Mirror image staring back into 1,000 lifetimes, fearing what the light finds.
Mm-hmm. That's where I was headed with it. Like in terms of like where I feel like this EP stands. I don't think I've got it. I think I'm still missing something, but
it's very clear there's something. There was a lot of intent with
absolutely
the track list and the order and how they all flow together.
Yeah, very, very, very well written. Still love the chorus. I think the chorus of each song here is really the highlight for me across like both the entire EP and each individual song. I feel like there's very strong hook even on the
So you're telling me that the chorus, you're telling me the chorus of Cellar Door is better than that breakdown?
Yeah.
No.
I would say so.
No.
Apparently I'm wrong.
I have stood up in my...
I'll see.
I was leaning back in my chair. I am no longer leaning back in my chair.
I made Jake assume gamer position. It's over. I get why the heavy songs are on here. I'll always and forever like Spiritbox at their softer. I feel like Courtney does a great job of conveying emotion either way, but her cleans are just so angelic. I feel like the singing, there's so much emotion. Jaded really shows off her range. I think everything.
I almost want to say that Jaded is like the quintessential Spiritbox song.
Absolutely,
it is the blueprint for what Spiritbox is and what I feel like they should be doing. Absolutely. I'm glad that the variation exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like Angel Eyes is my second favorite song on here. I'm not trying to say that Pissed Off Heavy Spiritbox is not good.
Pissed Off Heavy Spiritbox is fantastic. Somehow melodic Spiritbox is better.
Is even better.
Yeah. I am interested to see between the last 2 years of material, whether it be Rotoscope, this, or Eternal Blue, what direction an album takes. I think we're getting one mid-late next year. I want to say is like the preliminary timeline, and that there's going to be like a tour around it next year. If I had to guess, maybe an album in July or August. I don't know where it's going to go, because we have experimentation on Rotoscope. We have a little bit more on this, but this felt a little safer than Rotoscope to me. So I don't know.
Do you think they'll use any of these songs or Rotoscope songs in an upcoming album?
No.
I don't think so, and I think that's been explicitly stated that these are standalone from any future project.
Good.
I want to say that this
I could see it from Rotoscope, but I wouldn't see it from this.
No.
Yeah. This is very clearly a piece of art that was intended to just be within itself.
Absolutely. And I want to say Rotoscope was stated to be like a standalone experimental EP. So I think we're good there. Not that I'd be complaining if there was an album that had those 9 songs on it, because they're all great, but I don't think it'd feel right, and I'm always fiending for new Spiritbox.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. They turn it around, they get a Megan feature on the album.
That'd be crazy.
That's what needs to happen here. I know Jacob would love that.
It'd be better than the other song, honestly.
As much praise as I have given this album, or EP rather, I almost feel like I haven't been able to say enough good things about it, because I honestly didn't spend very much time with Too Close Too Late or Ultraviolet. When the EP came out, I really just had Angel Eyes on repeat for like that entire weekend, and I have not given Ultraviolet or Too Close Too Late the love that they probably deserve. So I still have a lot more to get out of this EP, and this is still one of my favorite EPs I've heard all year.
Absolutely. And it's kind of unfortunate it dropped at the time that it did. I feel like for me, because I haven't been able to spend much time with it either, and leading up to like award season, I probably won't get
November 3rd was kind of a stacked release date.
Yeah.
To say the least.
We'll see into the coming year as we lead up to whatever next album cycle, as we continue to listen to this, what new things we draw from it. And maybe if any of it relates to the new album, who knows? Time will tell.
Spiritbox absolutely deserve to be one of the most promising bands in the scene right now, for good reason.
For sure.
And this is just delivering on every front.
Fitty.
Purple's cool.
Purple is a cool color, that's very true. 50/50 have dropped their debut EP, Fractured.
Keep that in mind when you're deciding who you want to be. I don't wanna be a cog in the machine.
Dropped same day as Spiritbox. This is another female-fronted post-hardcore / metalcore band out of Australia, debut EP. And as far as I'm concerned, 50/50 were the chosen one for me this year. They dropped Lost and Suspended in June. One of my most played songs of the year. I had such high expectations for this EP.
Were they met?
No.
Man, you were talking about the chosen ones. I was like, oh, this is going.
That's what I'm like. 50. Like, I was going into this EP like, I am so ready for this band to blow me away, and I can put them as my favorite band I've discovered in 2023, because Lost and Suspended had me expecting that. And Lost and Suspended clears everything on this EP by a mile, and it's not even on the debut EP. How do you not put the debut single on the debut EP? You put Lost and Suspended on this, and this is a top 10 EP of the year. Easy. It's not. I'm so sad. 50/50 were like... Yeah, it's similar to Cartographer earlier. Like, 50/50 were another one of those bands where it's like, so up my alley that it feels wrong to like not have them as one of my favorite artists I've discovered this year. I mean, they still are, just off of Lost and Suspended, but like, oh, I feel like there's so much missed potential here. Like, the mix just isn't as good. The vocals don't reach the same kind of depth and like range that Lost and Suspended was able to deliver. It's just like, it's all good. This band still has a very bright future, I think. It's just, I wanted more. Lost and Suspended had my hopes up, and this did not meet them.
I was waiting. There were a lot of, guys know I was more or less MIA for the past 2 weeks, and there were a lot of things on here that I didn't get to, EPs wise. And the two that I was most interested in that I didn't listen to were this one and the next one. And I was hoping that each of you, Jake and Justin, could sell me on them because I know you're both high on them individually. This is not boding well.
I'm gonna be honest, I think this one is a skip for you, Derek.
Oh, well, it's a welcome break from the remaining albums I have to get to, but
because I remember
I
remember you like said that they had promise with Lost and Suspended with like the
Oh,
bass
yeah.
line in that song. If you weren't like fully convinced off of that song, I don't think anything here is going to fully convince you. Maybe
Okay.
Titan. Titan is you can look at the timeline. That's not an interlude. That's a 1:30 song that's pissed off from front to back.
perfect. That is right up my alley.
That's like an Angel Eyes type of song.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna hit it
otherwise,
right
it's
now.
just, I wanted so much more.
Justin said he had me on this one, so Justin, take it away.
I got you. Enthroned, we talked about their single River a couple months back. They dropped this EP titled Casualty. I believe the EP was just Prelude and Casualty dropping as its own separate thing. I think everything else was singles.
Yep.
This was really good.
This
Put
was
together.
really good. I can vouch. I listened to it.
Enthroned, hail Australia, as we like to say it here. The Prelude was a really good lead into the Wake. Being like a slower opener with not a lot to it. It's basically just an interlude. Honestly, really good. Gives that higher energy to the Wake. We already talked about River, but River is still really good. Wake we didn't talk about, but that's kind of standard pop punk almost, I would say. Jake, would you agree?
I would agree. I will say that River is by far the clear standout here on this EP for me.
Ooh, no.
He said
But,
no.
But I'm with you that it's a good song, but no.
The Wake, Teeth, and Casualty are all fine. River?
Oh,
That's
no.
the good shit.
You don't just give Casualty the fine treatment.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
Casualty
fine. It's fine.
is
It's fine.
phenomenal. It is the best song on this EP by far. River is also good. I will give you that. River is second, if not third, to the Wake. Teeth is a pissed off song.
It is.
And to me, it fits because you've got a clear kind of crisp song like River with a little bit of a harsher vocals that leads into just a pissed off song that then closes with a almost like a ballad sort of type song, but with much more energy to it with Casualty. Casualty is my favorite off this EP, and it's not even close. It's got strings. It's got a piano to open for like the first minute and a half. The chorus picks up when it hits. You get the guitars added in with his vocals layered on top of it. It works so well. And then that just continues on through the entirety of the song. You get a slower kind of fade out to the end, but you also get an instrumental breakdown that's just the guitars mixed with the pianos, and it works so well. It works so well. This is a really good package, top to bottom.
This reminds me a lot of the Inertia EP that we talked about last year.
Mm,
But if it was a little more poppy and a little less metalcore.
I agree. This is much more in that like kind of pop punk style of sound, but it also
It has heavier
blends-
moments, for sure.
It's got heavier
But,
moments,
yeah.
but so does like some of the Point North stuff. So it's like it depends what song you get from this EP, where you lean in that genre, because you get the heavier song like Teeth with very much harsh vocals, you get Casualty, which is a like almost rock ballad, and then The Wake is pop punk, and River is just kind of a mix of everything.
River's just kind of stereotypical post-hardcore, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. All in all, phenomenal.
Done really well.
EP.
Yeah.
Really well.
I'm not as high on the EP as a whole because River was really the only standout song on here. I added the entire EP to my playlist, but River's really the only one I've gone back to a significant amount.
Casualty, I'd say, is like the song of all the EPs bar one that I've gone back to a lot, and we'll talk about the other one here shortly.
Are you convinced, Derek?
I'm convinced it's already in the playlist.
Let's go.
Yo.
On to our next EP. We got Straight Shot Home. Their EP, the Reminisce collection. Which technically was just one new song, but we haven't talked about this band before on the podcast, so we got all 5 songs to talk about here.
No, I thought we talked about Pednum.
We might have. We might have, but I don't remember talking about it.
I'll double check. You keep going about how good this EP is.
This is post-hardcore. This is just phenomenal post-hardcore from front to back. Think of bands like, I'm thinking of kind of like, I want to say Holding Absence. I don't know if that's entirely fair, but it feels very grand. It's very emotional. It's very powerful in all the vocal deliveries. The instrumentation really hits it. There's a strong punch to it on every song here. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about the individual songs here because a lot of them sound fairly similar to me, but I think it's like, if you like post-hardcore, I think there is very little to not enjoy here. I think it was just a matter of, this is like the last of a lot of music. Like, the day this came out, there was a lot of other music that I was much more interested in, and this kind of just fell to the wayside. But by no means is this bad. I just wasn't able to spend as much time with this as I wanted to throughout the month, because these are 5 incredible songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think if this releases on a different release day, this is like, I'm able to speak wonders about this EP.
That's where I'm at. I really liked Pendulum when it came out, and Borrowed Time, but because of everything else that's dropped within the last month, I haven't gone back to this as much as it really deserves.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the chorus in Borrowed Time. I remember that specifically.
The
That's probably my
instrumentals
highlight.
and Pendulum are probably my highlight, I would say, on this. You know
Gee,
the
what
guitars
are
and
some-
Reminisce are also pretty good.
Yeah. What are some other bands that you would associate with them, Justin? 'Cause I'm like struggling to pull up names. Like, this is very quintessential post-hardcore, but for whatever reason, I'm struggling to find bands to compare them to.
I mean, you get like, I'm trying to think as well. I think you get the instrumentals of. I can't tell you. I know it's like a familiar sound. I just can't
Yeah.
put a name to face.
Derek, I think you will very much enjoy the Straight Shot Home EP if you listen to it.
Say less. Put it in there. Catch up playlist. Where is it? Among my 100 other playlists.
I don't know how you keep up with that shit.
It's a struggle.
Hope and a prayer.
For real.
And we still got 2 more EPs to talk about.
Dear Lord.
We do, and probably the best of the playlist.
Let's talk about Spirit Leaves, who dropped their debut EP. A lot of debut EPs this month. To My Detriment.
After all, it's risky thinking that we're built for love. Pull back all the curtains, you need some.
We've talked about 3 of the singles for this, all of which were very promising. But they have done the rare thing of saving the best single for the EP drop. Chaos Control is arguably my favorite song. I can't say my favorite song of the month, but it's damn close. The vocal delivery on the like kind of fake out first chorus, where it's like, after all, it's risky thinking that we're built for love. Pull back all the curtains, you need sunlight to wake up. Because I thought that was the chorus. I thought that was the chorus when I first heard it, but it's not. And then the chorus is almost just as catchy somehow. You get can't save you from all the debris I made. Just know that lust was a means for my downward spiral. I echo the thoughts that I'll drown in. It's unsafe. I'm your siren singing dreams. It's just the delivery on it is way better than any way that I could ever say or speak it. Trust me. I'm not very good at the whole singing thing, or else I would try. But yeah, I mean, Hollow's also a pretty heavy opener. It definitely threw me for a loop, given the singles did not get nearly as heavy. Hollow's a solid song, but yeah, I really think Chaos Control and Killjoy are the standouts here, but specifically Chaos Control. It's very vibey. It hits when it needs to hit, and just fantastic vocal delivery across the board. Instrumentation is solid. This is one of the best debut EPs I have heard this year. I know we were talking last month about, like, our Spirit Leaves one of the best bands we've discovered this year. I think after this EP, they make a very strong case for that argument, in my opinion. Yeah, 50-50 were the chosen one. Spirit Leaves delivered on it from behind.
This is one of the strongest debuts I've seen in a while. Like, when we talked about Killjoy when that dropped, I wasn't suspecting, like, too much from them this year. But when they put out both Pulling Teeth and Paradise and Ruin, which are both phenomenal bangers, Pulling Teeth is still a really good song. I was not expecting this EP to drop this year and to still be as consistent as all of the other songs that they dropped this year were.
I just checked, actually. For what it's worth, of every single song that I added to my playlist in November, only 2 of them made my best of 2023 playlist. This is one of them. The other one was Angelized by Spiritbox.
I don't know how to feel about that.
It is 2 good songs to have. I don't know if they'd be
both purple. Both purple as well.
The purple theme is pulling through.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Hollow too much either, but Hollow is also really good.
Yeah, I only listened to Hollow a couple of times, because every time I would come to this part of my playlist, I would just click on Chaos Control. It's just the far superior song, in my opinion.
I did only save Chaos Control from this, but Hollow is also just really good.
I was going to say, shout out Chaos Control. That and Pulling Teeth, definitely, in my opinion, the 2 best songs on here.
For fans of post-hardcore with some Wheedly guitars, I guess.
It's Wheedly, but it's not like Swancore Wheedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very important distinction.
Yes. Now on to our 3rd debut EP for the month. Justin, take it away.
We got FOXCULT dropping their EP, The Indigo Fault.
Can I make a series of claims about this EP?
Go for it.
Sorry, stream. My graphic didn't work, so I don't have the image for it.
Mine.
It's terrible. It's so scuffed.
Fuck you, Jacob.
Fine, the stream will live with it.
Put it in, but you have to look at Spirit Leaves a little longer.
This is the best debut EP of this month. This is the best EP of the month. This is the best release this month.
Nope.
This is the best EP of the year. And this is the best EP I have ever heard.
Wow.
What is happening?
What did I just hear?
That was my steady climb of admiration for this EP.
All right, take it away.
I did not think that I Won't Survive by Convictions would ever be dethroned. This is twice the EP that was. And I think that what it is the fact that in the context of the EP, Empty Space is a fantastic opener, and Symmetry stands as one of the best closers to anything that I've heard all year. And so everything in the middle between that is also somehow fucking perfect. And I'm not the biggest fan of shoegaze, and there are bands like Turnstile that kind of incorporate that into a hardcore sound and like whatever. I don't love it. This emo, hardcore, shoegaze-y production style combination is like the best crossover of genres that I have maybe ever heard. And a lot of my problem with shoegaze and things that kind of are produced in the way that they have this almost ethereal filter over them is that a lot of times either the instruments get lost or they're intentionally muddy, or the vocals get lost or they're intentionally muddy. And everything here is so clear while simultaneously having that filter over it that is trademarked by shoegaze. It is a fucking unbelievably impressive thing to pull off. And to have all of that on top of some of the most intricate lyricism across each and every song that I've heard all year, with hardcore style uncleans and just these beautiful, punchy, soaring cleans. Some of the notes that they hit on here, fucking unreal. I could not, if you sat me down with this album and gave me a pen and paper, find a single fucking issue with it. There is nothing here to complain about. There, you know, if there's like a personal issue where like you don't like the style of uncleans, you know, whatever, that's fine. Me personally, yeah, Jake, I figured. I don't think that you could pick an issue with this if you tried. I mean, maybe you could. I can't.
I can't.
For the life of me. Yeah, I bet. Okay, Jake. Well, I'll hand it over here to you then. But FOXCULT was a name that I'd seen passed around on Twitter for a bit, and I'm like, I gotta check them out. And I never did. And now that I finally did, holy fucking shit, this band is the future. The fact that they can put out something like this with 20,000 monthly listeners is fucking ridiculous. Their first drop was this year, I think.
Yeah. First drop this year.
February of this year was their first song. And they're putting out this? Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
the way you're talking about this is reminding me of how I felt when I discovered Misery Loves Company by Letter Sent Home.
Yeah. You know what? This is giving me sort of that same vibe, and it doesn't necessarily like sonically in terms of like.
Oh yeah, no, it's in a different dimension sonically.
But I'll listen to that Letter Sent Home EP for like a certain vibe. This has an entirely different sonic vibe to it, but a lot of the lyricism reminds me of an EP like that Misery Loves Company EP. It is so introspective and reflective and delving into deep topics with really incredible wordplay. I'm you don't hear it at first in a lot of the uncleans, you know, because that style of uncleans can be hard to like discern sometimes, which I totally get. If you pull up the lyrics and listen to this EP, I mean, it's flooring. This is like, I guess I kind of mentioned it in the Discord the other day, but like this is on par with that To Kill Achilles album that I listened to, or even some of the stuff off of Take Me Back to Eden, in my opinion, in terms of like forming an emotion or a picture in your mind and then having the song represent that and all the EP as a whole coming together to show that. I mean, I don't have any more words to describe how awesome and fucking incredible of a listen this is. I'm floored.
I haven't listened to this EP in full. I listened to the 2 singles. I found another fault though.
Okay.
The closing track, Symmetry, is 6 minutes and 5 seconds, not 6 minutes and 6 seconds.
Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Fine. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. I'll give it to you.
It's too obvious, man. I had to.
Dude,
I can't comment on this EP as a whole because I didn't.
Wait, hold on. In one more second, they would have been 20 minutes and 20 seconds, guys.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so we did find one flaw. I will cede this one to the Jake Council.
I haven't even listened to this info yet. Not get to get
one missed opportunity. No,
Yeah.
I can't possibly top what Eric said. This is really good.
Shout out FOXCULT.
I think Cliff Jumper is probably my favorite from this.
I think mine might still be Silicone Dream. It's my
Silicone
favorite
Dream is
single. I
good.
think it's my
Glacier is also really good.
Everything here is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Where did this band come from?
God knows.
If they drop an album in the next like year or two, this has potential.
This is like I'm getting the same like scary feeling that I did with Convictions, where I'm like, how the fuck do you top this? But if they can put out an album that's as high quality as this, if not higher, album of the fucking decade. I don't care. This is incredible stuff.
They are a Seattle-based band, so only a short amount of time before them and Paloma tag team.
Honestly, fuck
Paloma
up.
needs to drop an EP or album. Cowards.
Yup.
We already talked about enough EPs this month, but fuck it.
Get in here, Paloma.
We good to move on to our albums for the month?
I was about to say, I don't think this is... I need a bit more time before our EP's episode awards to claim if this is going to make my list or not.
I wonder if it'll make mine.
It just made your every list.
Yeah. I considered like toning it down, but then I realized that like I'm not gonna be able to contain how much I love this, so fuck it, we ball. Like I'm gonna try and convince other people to listen to it instead.
Derek, we can shake hands on this one. We both had our moments today.
Yes, sir.
It's alright. My time's still here.
That brings us to our albums.
Jacob's time is here.
Jacob,
I'm
your time is
here.
It's been
now.
quiet for a while.
I'm here. I'm awake. We're on albums. So
Yes,
Silent
sir.
Planet have dropped their 5th studio album titled SUPERBLOOM.
Take it away, Super Boomer.
That's me. Yeah, I had expectations for this album, and I thought it was going to be a lot more melodic
Mhm.
than what we got based on the singles. That being said, when I first heard it and I heard Offworld, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Because I think Offworlder is a great opener, and I think it gets you ready for the album in like the most perfect way. Just like the instrumental outro to the song is like, okay, this is what you got, and now you have time to process it and think about it while you're being relentlessly pounded in the ears. Collider, like once I heard the transition from Collider or Offworlder to Collider, I was like, oh, this song is way better than it was as a single. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be great. We get to Euphoria. Oh, it sounds a little bit like Spiritbox, and so far so good. Get to Dreamwalker, and I think it's my favorite non-single on the album. Probably the heavy. I don't know.
Maybe as in the heaviest non-single.
Yeah,
I would say
Okay.
so. Maybe besides,
I think
maybe
it has the best
Nexus.
breakdown too.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. 100%.
Antimatter we know is a banger. Signal is all right.
It grew on me.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
It did grow on me, and I really love how it transitions into Anunnaki. But after Anunnaki, this album falls a little flat for me. I really
agree.
love everything up to Anunnaki, and then it just really falls off. Like, I don't think the Overgrowth or Nexus are bad. It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
I think you and I are almost on the exact same page with this. It needed to be more melodic, I think. And it feels weird saying that about like a body of art, like, oh no, it needed to be this. But for
Just see, we get that in SUPERBLOOM, and then I don't like it. It's really interesting because I think SUPERBLOOM is an amazing idea, but I don't think Garrett is good enough at singing to pull it off.
not yet. And I what I will say is I really think that he has improved leagues are leaps and bounds above where he was, and I think that it succeeds a lot throughout this album. I'm probably a little higher on SUPERBLOOM as a song than it sounds like you are, and I think that for what
I think SUPERBLOOM's the worst song on the album.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could identify one. I
can.
I think mine might be Euphoria. Is yours Anunnaki, Jake?
Signal.
Oh, okay. That checks out.
Euphoria's okay as well. I think Euphoria's the second worst.
I listen to this album front to back, and I am sold on the sound and the vibe. And I think that the only thing that might take me out of it, ironically, is Antimatter.
Really?
It feels a little disjointed to me when I hear everything else. I don't get the same vibe.
I kind of get that. Antimatter is very different from everything else on the album. I also feel like Antimatter's, like, at this point, Antimatter's one of the best metalcore songs of the year.
Easily. I guess if you can even call it metalcore, I suppose it is.
Yeah.
But individually here, like, for instance, for me, like, the riff on Collider, the riff and breakdown in Dreamwalker, the break, if you can even call it breakdown in Antimatter, like, just that riff, everything. Individually, there are so many moments on here that I could say this is like my favorite thing of the year. This is my top 5 of the year. And I love, for instance, the ambience on like re-entry into SUPERBLOOM and in SUPERBLOOM in general, Lights Off the Lost Coast into Offworlder. I get the story. I get the vibe.
I don't even get story. I know Antimatter is about their car crash last year when they were on tour. But other than that, I don't really understand
as
about.
far as I know, the entire album, except maybe Signal because it was released beforehand, is entirely about in some way or another, their encounter with death and how it impacted them and their lives moving forward, knowing that could have been it for all of them. Yeah. Not that it's a concept album or anything necessarily, but that that's the overall theme.
Anunnaki couldn't be about that either because they were singing that song on that tour that they crashed. I'm pretty sure.
And I have no fucking clue what's going on here. And you know what? That's another thing, I guess. To your point is like sonically across this album, there is a vibe to it. Give me the story. Maybe more. Maybe. Am I too dumb for this album? Like, is that? I've been too dumb for some Silent Planet lyrics in the past, but like, I'm just not. Something about this album I'm not getting, and it's really frustrating because, like you said, like I had high expectations going into this, and I thought that this was going to be easy album of the year. Like, I thought this was going to be it, and I was kind of mad. I'm like, damn, my album of the year is going to have to drop in November. I won't get a ton of time with it, and then I listened to it, and I listened to it again. And I give another listen. I'm like, well, it's good. I like it, but
it's not
something's
mind blowing.
No, and for what they were doing and the way they were innovating, something like Antimatter and just all the pieces of the singles came together, and I thought, fuck, this is going to be awesome, and it just ended up being good to great. And I don't know if I would really. I mean, there are things that I would like change, obviously, for my own personal taste, but like, I can't even say that anything is necessarily wrong with the album. It's just not clicking the way I wanted it to.
It's not. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think, personally, for me, a good closer really helps an album, and this doesn't have it for me. I think it starts phenomenally, though. Like, yeah, it
Absolutely.
I want to give some credit to Lights Off the Lost Coast as like an interlude into Offworlder. I feel like that really set the vibe. Yeah. And like the tone to start. As much as I don't love the album as a whole, I mean, hell, this got me to add 9 out of 10 songs from a Silent Planet album into my playlist. I can't really distinguish between them all very much. I've only gone back to the ones that aren't Antimatter and Collider a handful of times. But I was able to enjoy a majority of a Silent Planet album, which is not something I've been able to say in the past. So
we'll take it.
I definitely need to go into the lyrics, like especially of like SUPERBLOOM, where
for sure
I feel like Garrett even said like that's his favorite song ever,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just here sitting like, yeah, that's the fucking worst song on the album.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly disagree with you. I think it's a great closer. I like it a lot. I think that it does fall a little flat at places, but
I think it's too ambitious, and it doesn't work. I don't. I think it's good, but Garrett, like his vocal style, it doesn't fit. That's what it is for me.
see, I mean, I don't know. It's not that. I think that vocal style works with kind of the airy, whatever. Like he doesn't need to hit a high note or be more impressive vocally because of the vibe of the album as a whole. I don't know. For whatever reason, I really like it as both a closer and a standalone song to like listen to in a playlist. Do I think it's as strong of a closer as Iridescent, for instance? No. It makes me feel something in the context of the album, but it doesn't get me feeling the same way that something like Iridescent does. And that's the hold up for me is with everything that builds up to SUPERBLOOM, I want it to hit harder as a song and as a closer than it does. And it does a good job, but doesn't do a phenomenal job.
By the way, since we made it this far, well, why don't we give the definition of what a SUPERBLOOM is? Facts.
Do you have it pulled up, or do you want me to read it from their Spotify bio?
Oh, is it in their bio?
Yeah.
I have it pulled up. A SUPERBLOOM is a rare desert botanical phenomenon in California and Arizona, in which an unusually high proportion of wildflowers whose seeds have lain dormant in desert soil germinate and blossom at roughly the same time. The phenomenon is associated with an unusually wet, rainy season. So, I don't know how that ties in, but it sounds cool.
I got the pleasure of seeing a SUPERBLOOM last year in California. I guess earlier this year, technically. When I went out to visit, and it was beautiful. And I think maybe in the context of almost dying and then not, that maybe Nexus is like that moment, and then Reentry is coming back into the perspective that you have after, and SUPERBLOOM is the new lease on life, kind of more beautiful blooming that you have after an experience like that. That's my best guess. With that said, that still doesn't show me how the rest, like Signal, Anunnaki, even I guess Euphoria, kind of to an extent, tie into that motif.
I don't get the overgrowth either.
I don't really either. I could justify it within the explanation that I have, but like it doesn't. I'm left confused by this album. But usually, if I'm confused by an album like this, I want to take the time to look more into it and figure it out. For whatever reason, this isn't giving me that same draw that makes me want to do that. It is still, objectively, in my opinion, a very, very good album.
Yeah.
And I love what they did with it. I think that overall, this is probably my favorite Silent Planet album. I just wish it was more because my expectations were higher.
Can I say that? I don't know if I can.
What would be it for you?
I think I like Iridescent more.
I think Iridescent's peaks are probably higher for me. Sound Asleep, Transit the Night, Alive as a House Fire, Panopticon, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard.
It is. Two very good albums. But C'est la vie. This, if nothing else, the sonic changes here make me excited for the next Silent Planet album after this. Between this and Iridescent, I am.
No, who said last time?
Yeah, well, I think that transfer is present here. I think that they're building on their sound. I'm not fully sold on it yet, but I'm closer than I was.
We have Garrett singing now, which is
exactly, new. And he'll just keep. The more he performs live, the more he'll practice it, the better he'll get, and the more he can employ that on the next album, if he so chooses, I guess. But seems to be the vibe they're going towards. Anyway. Jake and Justin, I have a feeling that you guys are about to have your turn with this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Take it away. This was
your
find.
Yeah, we got Knight Rider with their debut album, self-titled, Knight Rider.
I wanna
see a
This
Ryan
is-
Kirby feature.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is post-hardcore with a hint of metalcore. It's very grand. It's very epic at times. And, like, this checks all of the boxes for, like, what do you need for a good post-hardcore metalcore song? Good mix, check. Good production, check. Like, soaring vocal moments, check. Good breakdowns, check. Catchy guitar riffs, check. Good breakdowns, check. Like, this checks all the boxes. I don't think this album does anything extraordinary, but for a debut album, this is extremely impressive. And I think most fans of the genre will find something to like here.
I want to immediately commend the use of the neon wave aesthetic and almost the vocal chords for it as well. It's like you can hear the neon wave.
That
aesthetic.
reminds me, for fans of Dreamwake.
I remember Justin told me the same thing. Which was also interesting because they have a song called Knight Rider. Dreamwake does. So it's kind of like a little tie-in here.
It's
Knight
not-
Rider
it's not
Cinematic
that good.
Universe?
This is a much cleaner, probably, Dreamwake.
Yeah,
than you're gonna
yeah.
get.
Much more
But-
clues driven, for sure.
The aesthetic, it fits so well. Like, this band, immediately when I think about them, I think of that aesthetic, and it can be heard in every single song, in my opinion. I think they work really well off of that theme of like a car driving down the neon wave style, and it all flows really well together. You get all of the singles together. Cold War is still really good. I think we talked about Antithesis was the one we talked about. We talked about one or two of them. And then we didn't talk about a few. I know we didn't talk about Disaster when that came out. But overall, this album is really good. My one issue with it is that you get like 3 or 4 of the singles grouped up together toward the end, which kind of makes the end stagnate a little bit if you have already heard them. If you haven't heard them, they all sound really good together. I'm not arguing with their orders or whatnot. It's just I feel like releasing them the way they did, I think you probably could have left 1 or 2. Like, I think the Ryan Kirby feature could have been a single, but the rest could have been saved. But I also know they just wanted to kind of build their discography with some of the releases, so it helped to drop the Ryan Kirby feature. But overall, like, all the stuff they say for this album really fits. Specifically Eyes of Luna, which is my
Yes.
favorite of this album.
I don't know if I
Everything
can
in this
say
album.
Eyes of Luna is definitively my favorite here. That was one of the points I was going to make. Everything on here is so good that it's hard for me to pick a favorite. Like, I don't feel like there's one song that is significantly, clearly better than the others. Like, with Silent Planet, Antimatter, by far and away, the best song on that album, in my opinion. And for a lot of albums I've heard this year, there is a clear favorite. This album is consistently across the board just really fucking good. If I had to pick a favorite, I'd probably give it to Eyes of Luna or Cold War. But
Cold War is good. I saved Eyes of Luna and Rear View. Rear View is a really good kind of slower song toward the middle that I think works really well to kind of bridge between Nemesis and Disaster. But Eyes of Luna, in my opinion, has everything that coalesces this band. It's got that aesthetic. It's got the rock instrumentals. It's got the metalcore breakdown. It's got a really good pre-chorus with a mix of that harsher vocal from the breakdown. All in all, I think Eyes of Luna is the quintessential Knight Rider song. But this album is really good.
I think if I had to fault one thing, I don't think Portals is the best closer. I feel like in comparison to a lot of the other tracks, Portals, it just feels like another song, not really a closer.
Here's my interpretation. How would you have felt if they switched Rear View and Portals? I think Rear View would have been a better closer.
Maybe? I don't know.
But overall, like, still really good.
Yeah. Yep. Night
Derek,
Rider,
did you get to
another
this?
small band. Check out.
Derek. Oh god, the boy's dead.
I'm not dead. I'm going to attempt to get to this.
Okay.
I have however long between now and awards to get there. I will try my best. It's made its way into the playlist for what it's worth. The discussion has convinced me.
Hell yeah.
Whether or not I get to it remains to be seen.
Time will tell. But overall, a strong start. I know these guys are seasoned, what with being from Affiance and Ice Nine Kills, so they know what they're doing. But it's rare you get a band that knows their aesthetic and can make it flow so well in the context of their music.
And deliver on it with their debut.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
They like when we first talked about them, there was no mention of an album dropping. They were just gonna drop singles and see how that would go. But no, they surprised with an album drop, merch, all that stuff. Like solid, super solid. All right, Jake.
I think it's time that we move on to another Purple album.
Purple.
Shout out Purple. And another debut album at that. We have Nowhere Left with their debut album, Places We Couldn't Belong.
Don't even know anymore. Too blind to recognize that you threw this away. You chose the substances over the life we love. You found yourself.
This album was probably the biggest surprise of the month for me, if I'm being honest. I completely forgot that this was even dropping. They dropped a majority of this album as singles, and a lot of them didn't really connect with me. But revisiting this album, a lot of the singles I didn't like grew on me, and the songs that they saved for the album ended up being some of my favorites. Substance is a fantastic song. I really enjoyed the lyricism in that song. The chorus, you found your substance in everything you abused, now there's no substance left between me and you. Very obvious what this is about. And throughout the album, the entire themes of a broken, fractured relationship and coming to accept it is really the core of what this album is about. You get a couple of heavier moments, I'd say. Broken Story gets a little bit heavier, but generally it's pretty bog standard, post-hardcore with some touches of like an emo aesthetic to it. Especially in songs like You Don't Even Think About Me, Breathe Underwater, and Phantoms, the closer. Phantoms also features Cole, female artist, singer-songwriter, and she sounds fantastic on the closer. I think it really adds to the just energy that the closer provides. You get all the way through this album detailing the story of a fractured, broken relationship and going through the stages of acceptance of like, yeah, like we're not meant to be, and then actually like ditching it, realizing that like it's not healthy for you, and then coming out on the other side and being like, I made the right decision type of thing. With Phantoms it's a very simple yet catchy chorus of, I'm not afraid of phantoms, I'm not afraid of something I don't believe in, I'm done paying your ransom at the cost of finding my peace. And then it just goes ahead and repeats, I'm not afraid of you, over and over again. And yeah, I feel like lyrically it's not the deepest thing. Like everything that's being talked about on this album is like, it's a lot of being told, and like, you know, the show not tell thing. There's a lot of telling, not showing with this album, but I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I think it just makes it almost makes it more accessible that the subject matter is a very common story for a lot of people in a younger, like college, high school age demographic that I feel like this album is targeting. And I think it's very accessible. Like you listen to a song like Phantoms, you listen to a song like Substance, and it's very clear what it's about, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to it, and I think that's one of the album's strengths. Instrumentally and vocally, I think are both solid, but really, I think the thing that caught me off guard with there being a lot of singles that didn't leave much of an impact on me was how well it all came together as a cohesive album. Justin, I know you listened to a couple of the songs off here. I don't know if you listened to the full thing, but has your opinion on this band changed at all? Or?
I didn't get to the full thing. I listened to the opener the second track and the Boys of Fall feature, and that was it.
Gotcha.
But I will attempt to do that before awards.
I think you'll find some stuff to like in here.
Probably.
Like I don't think it makes like your top 10 NDO, so I wouldn't make it a priority necessarily. But I do think that there's a lot to enjoy here. Another small band that's worth the attention if you have the time and are interested.
Zinger has been really good for debut bands.
It has been. We got a few more albums to talk about. It's been a while since we've talked about this band. We got Broadside with their album Hotel Bleu. Last time we talked about them, I believe, was last year when they dropped One Last Time as a single, and it was one of my favorite songs of last summer. They dropped a bunch of other singles leading up to this album, and none of them really connected with me too much. I think there's a lot of really catchy songs on here, but as singles, nothing that really stood out as much as a One Last Time or some of the singles off of Into the Raging Sea. This is a very different vibe. It's a lot more colorful compared to Into the Raging Sea. But it's that very familiar pop-punky side of Broadside. For what it's worth, the singles that I didn't really click with as much, or well, not to say I didn't click with them because I added all the singles to my playlist, but Cruel and Bang were songs that dropped as singles, and they were fine. But on the album, I was really reminded of how catchy Broadside can actually be when they want to be. The delivery of the "You're so cruel, 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 cruel" is infectious. And then the bang, 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 the Reaper's at your door in Bang, similarly catchy. I wish the feature of Devin from Honey Revenge on Lucid was more fun, because Honey Revenge is such a fun band, and I feel like Lucid is almost too sad of a song to use that feature on. I mean, still a good feature, but with all that being said, this album didn't leave too much of a mark on me. One Last Time is the clear standout for this album for me. And I wish that some of the other songs on here were able to connect with me as much as that single did last summer. There's a lot of good songs here, just nothing that really stuck with me.
Yeah, it's standard pop punk. I really didn't get much more into it.
Now I know, Derek, you have quite a history with Broadside.
I do. I haven't heard this because it dropped while I was with... Or no, it didn't. Did it? Fuck, no, it didn't.
You just missed it.
I just missed it.
Either way, you didn't get to it. But
no, and you know what? I'm interested. I definitely will, and it's because I want to see how Into the Raging Sea led into this, because I think they were on an upward trajectory from Old Bones into Paradise, and Into the Raging Sea felt like a little bit of a step back for me personally from how good Paradise was. So I think that for me, this is going to be the make it or break it album, in the sense of, am I going to bring myself to listen to another full Broadside album after this? Because Into the Raging Sea did not age super well for me. Whereas Paradise and Old Bones have both aged tremendously, in my opinion. So I'll see where this ends up. The feature list has me intrigued at the very least. I'm probably going to end up with 4 songs off of this, and that's it. But I would love for my expectations to be subverted.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say. So we got 2... I think these next 2 albums we're going to have quite a bit to say. So let's just get right into it. Justin, you've been not keeping this one a secret.
Windwalkers, baby! They're back, dropping their second album. First one with Trevor, titled What If I Break? I fucking lie, my descent to the center room. Mafia, do they like me
I think that might be the most enthusiastic I've heard you be about an album in a long time.
For good reason. This album fucks.
It for real fucks.
Like, oh, where the fuck do
Going
I start?
into this, can I just get some quick thoughts out the way?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up my vendetta real quick, because going into this album, I was like, if Windwalkers want to stand a chance at my dark horse, Dead Talk has to be one of the weakest songs on the album. And damn it, they lived up to it.
What? Dead Talk is the best song on this album. Sorry.
I
had to pause for a second. I didn't trust myself.
the chorus in Dead Talk leaves me so whelmed every time I go back to it.
Oh, bad take, Jake strikes again.
Strikes again, indeed, yeah.
Marking that
But
on board.
with that being said, I went into this album expecting Dead Talk to be my least favorite, and the fact that it is a very promising sign to say for the other new songs on this album.
I
What
love
a
that you're
fucking
going
metric.
yeah, I love
that.
to go into the negative. Like, oh, I hate this song.
Oh, man.
Sigh.
You know what? It's a little bit backhanded, but it's praise nevertheless. Shout out this album.
It is very
Fucking
much
slaps.
a backhanded compliment.
Oh man,
Oh, where the fuck do I start?
Justin,
Feeding the Gods.
I
Feeding the
gotta
Gods.
know: is "Feeding the Gods" still like your favorite song off this, or how?
Yes.
No, it's not. Oh, it
Yes.
is?
Yes. Yes.
I think it's mine as well.
Feeding the Gods is my
Oh.
favorite of the non-singles. I still think Drowning Hymns is my favorite on here, but Feeding the Gods close behind.
I really like Losing My Color too.
Losing My Color surprised me. I really liked that. I thought with Losing My Color, we were just gonna get like a slower song to bridge Dissipate and Hang Fire, but no, that song stands alone on its own. Like it's almost like an uplifting sort of song. I don't think the lyrics are too much uplifting, but like that slow build into like a almost like I don't know how to explain it, but just this like incredibly built up chorus that slows them back down, and then the watch the Vultures devour the rest bridge into the final chorus. Really, really well played out. I'm gonna get into Feeding the Gods because there's no surprise that's probably my favorite song off this. Such a fucking good song. It's got such a different sound to it, and a lot of this album plays into a difference of sound, and you can really tell the differences it's been since when Dead Talk, Hangfire, and Drowning Hymns dropped to when the rest of the album dropped. Because I think you get like a very not like generalized sound into the like that metalcore sound, but then you get everything else that's dropped since then be ever so different and ever so familiar, and Feeding the Gods just leads right into it with such a like really good pace to it. The whole theme around like a cult almost. I love the start of it where you get that theme of like being surrounded in a place, not feeling like you're fitting in, so you're having to like almost draw blood before you can even make a difference to where you're at. And then the other half of the song where that verse comes back up, you get the difference in lyrics where it says, I fucking love my descent, where you're now finally, okay with doing what you're doing to make a stand where you're at in your place, but then you feel like everyone else has, since left, asking, do they like me now? And when that second when that second verse hit, it clicked with me. I was like, fuck. I really resonate with that kind of lyric structure in general. Feeding the Gods has been on repeat since this dropped, and it has been like one of the surprise songs to even touch my top 10 songs of the year.
I can't speak that highly of this song, but I will say this song was the top of my on repeat playlist the week after it came out.
It's so good. My second up on that would be Euphoria. That's just such a really good feel-good song.
Whoa, what a feeling.
Another surprisingly depressing song lyrically for how
Right?
happy it is.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it till like the third or fourth time I listened to it, and I was like, oh. All right, my bad. I didn't realize we were getting there.
Windwalkers are the second best band to make depressing music sound fun this year, only behind Red Hook.
I love the vocal production that they do on the second verse in or the bridge into the second chorus in Euphoria, where they add a little bit of like tone to his voice, and that's just really good. This album is phenomenally produced for a independent band. May I add?
I can't get over that.
Dead Talk got a new production,
and it's now a phenomenal banger.
Yes,
Sleep.
You do sleep.
Yeah, I don't know if I see the hype for Dead Talk. Like, it's okay.
Let's go.
Man,
I think it's just okay.
Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it.
It's not that
it's not bad, but I don't think it's like one of the highlights of the album in my opinion.
Ooh.
Like Losing My Color, Defeating the Gods,
Jake and I are gonna throw hands.
Euphoria, and the Bends, all phenomenal for me.
The thing about Dead Talk is that it's a really good start to Trevor's vocals. Like, it was the song that really started his journey with Windwalkers. And I feel like it's a really good song to listen to. Mind you, for me personally, looking at all the songs, it's probably in the last half of the album for me in terms of like what I like and what I listen to most. But that's also just because I've listened to Dead Talk so many times when it drops that like it's hard to go back to it because I've listened to it so much. Same with Drowning Hymns. Like there's nothing wrong with those songs at all. I've just listened to them enough where I'm familiar with them enough that all this new material that I'm now like ever so ecstatic about just kind of overtakes it.
That happened to me with Body Bag. That was like the one single I was like had saved and kept replaying, and now it's kind of fallen off for me.
That's the opposite for me. I didn't really like it as a single, and now I'm like, that was pretty good.
That 3-check stint from Body Bag, Euphoria into Dissipate,
Incredible.
really good. Derek, you haven't said too much on this. What do you think of it?
It's because you've been spitting, bro. This is a fucking incredible album with zero misses. That's
a good take.
If I had to pick one gripe that I have with it personally, it would be that I think that Feeding the Gods and the Bends as an opener and closer respectively are both pretty good. I don't know if, like, for my own taste, they carry opener and closer energy as much as I would want them to.
I
think the Bends does as a
disagree with
closer.
I think Feeding the Gods and the Bends reminds me of fucking Concrete Jungle and Miracle.
Huh.
The Feeding the Gods Concrete Jungle especially.
That one I will give to you. It does have a similar energy. I agree. The Bends. Oh, you know what the Bends reminds me of a little bit is Justin, wasn't Brother the closer to that Nerve album last year?
Yes.
Reminds me of Brother a little bit. That kind of vibey-ish, like, I don't know. The Bends gives me a little bit of a topic of that. Energy,
the delivery in the Bends of the chorus of "What if I break, go insane, how will you see me?" Those 3 lines single-handedly carry the entire song for me. It's such a perfect way to tie the album together. With, like, you go through all of this, like, I don't know if I want to necessarily say suffering for the first, like, the majority of this album, but, like, there's a lot of the common tropes of this genre of, like, negativity, depression, anxiety, whatever, blah, 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 relationship troubles, mental health, whatever. That line of, what if I break, go insane, how you see me, to close the album is just so fucking good. And the atmosphere that the Bends closes the album on is so strong for me. Like, I think Feeding the Gods and the Bends are some of the strongest songs on here, and like they define what, like, when I think of this album, those are like 2 of the tracks. Like, even though Drowning Hymns is my favorite here, I think of Feeding the Gods and the Bends first, just because of like the atmosphere that they create. Like, they single-handedly elevate this album a lot for me.
I think the best way I could summarize my feelings on this album is I love this album. Fuck this band for giving me an album this good this late in the year, because what am I supposed to do with my NDH list? Like Jacob knows. I sent him the alleged 6
I gave
albums.
it to the other 2 as well.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if that's going to be there in a week when I'm finished with my list. I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what might, because I thought I had it, and then I re-listened to this, and I was like, fuck. Because I knew where it should be, but I don't know what I'm going to do. This section of my top end of year list is in a fucking fight to the death. And it was like there was a champion, and then like from the shadows, a hooded Windwalkers album came out into the arena and like pulled back the hood and just
I can just see the bust from the album art just coming in into like
that was the hooded
gladiatorial combat.
The hooded man from the shadows comes and cracks the album art in half.
It's a fucking nightmare, man. If nothing else, this album deserves to be in my top 10 plus runner-ups, and I want it to be, and it should be, and it is an incredible album. Time will tell, because I can't say, because I don't even know.
Yeah, this is an alright album, I guess.
It's top 10 worthy. Yeah, okay, Justin.
Okay, Justin.
There are a couple locks in for you, buddy. This is one of them.
Justin, this is where this is where you're supposed to say I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just
yeah, Justin. Every other group
most disappointing album of the year, Windwalkers. Let's go. No, I can't even say that with good conscience. Guys, you did a phenomenal job. If you listen back to this.
This is incredible stuff. What a fucking statement, too, to have be the first album back with your new vocalist.
There's one other moment we haven't touched on yet that I want to speak on. It's in the Overlook, because I don't think we've touched on the Overlook much.
Oh, no, the Overlook. Yeah, honestly, I overlooked that.
The kind of, like, muted delivery in the pre-chorus with, like, Trevor's fast vocal delivery is fucking phenomenal. I don't know if I'm describing that part of the song well, but...
Derek said it right. Like, this album as a whole is a statement for this band. Like, you go back to the last album that they had, and like you can kind of see a lot of the instrumentation kind of bleed into this album, but this sets it as a precedent and just beats at 150%. I think the differences that they made between this and now, with just adding a new vocalist, breathes new life into this band. And it's like one of the rare occasions where you change up the vocalist and you actually get a like phenomenal product because of it.
They struck gold with this one in the same way that Drive. Yeah, I was just about to say in the way that Rain City Drive found Matt McAndrew.
Yeah, Rain City Drive is another one. That's why I say rare. Like we'll be talking about an example on the opposite end of the scale next month.
We will.
But overall, well done, guys. And this is a statement now. Windwalkers Tour 2024.
Yes.
Bring Nevertel.
I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but I was like, Windwalkers needs to tour with Archetypes Collide for the What If I Break, What If I Fall tour.
I saw that. That was great.
Make that happen. And bring it to Connecticut, please and thank you.
Me personally, I'm putting Nevertel and Nightlife on the bill and calling it a day.
But... That's the quickest flight to wherever they go.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I will travel whatever distance.
Windwalkers Nevertel Archetypes Collide tour. That's the next Hivemind meetup. We'll be there.
What if it's the openers for Imminence, guys?
Ooh.
If Windwalkers are the openers for the Imminence tour, then
I have to
make
come to the
it.
States.
Everything is coming together. The bottom line is, please go on tour and bring some good bands so I can hear this album live. I need to.
And this time, come to Canada. All these bands say they're coming to Canada. Like, I'm talking to Archetypes Collide and Varsity, and even Until I Wake last year.
And then get shut down at the border. Objection! All right, we got one last album to talk about this month. Let's make it quick. We got another debut album to talk about. Future Static with their album Liminality. The final
Like we, I
Australian
think this is-
band.
You say we? I think this is all on you, brother.
Well, I think Derek listened to it.
I listened to this.
Yeah. The final Australian. We talked about a lot of Australian bands today, but Australia delivers the goods, you know. Debut album. This was the last dark horse contender for my top 10, and it is very much living up to that dark horse role because the opening 4 tracks on this album are fucking phenomenal, and then it kind of falls off for me. But the first 4 songs are so goddamn good that it might just be a dark horse contender still. Chemical Lobotomy is a fantastic way to open this album, and it really describes the sound that Future Static go for. Venenosa and Roach Queen, and Icarus for that matter, are my top 3 songs on this album, with Roach Queen being my favorite. We talked about it as a single back in September, I want to say it was, and the breakdown and the call out into that breakdown is one of my favorites I've heard all year. Just the... Fuck, I should know this off the top of my head. Give me a moment, I'm gonna look this shit up real quick. Derek, can you say your thoughts about the album real quick while I remember what one of my favorite call-outs of the year is?
Absolutely. I think Jake's take is horrible, and this album.
Tell me something I don't know.
I think the idea that this falls off after the first 4 songs is an interesting take to have, because don't get me wrong, the first 4 songs are fantastic. I think Venenosa is the weakest out of the bunch. I really, really enjoy Chemical Lobotomy, Roach Queen, and Icarus. But then you get to In the Walls That Were Built and Waves, and they're both awesome. And then, you know, Iliad, The Hourglass, Halfway Across the World, Plate of Gold, like all still solid. They're not great, but like songs like I said, In the Walls That Were Built, Waves, Will I, even The Embers as a closer. Like
The Embers is a really good closer.
It's a great closer. It's a great song. Like I will agree with you maybe that the second half of the album from Iliad onwards is weaker than the front half. But I think you're due And the Walls That Were Built in Waves a disservice by not including them in the conversation, as well as like Will I and The Embers. There's something very heavy at times about this album, like sonically. Yeah.
I think
it's also melodic. Like she's got a beautiful voice. Like
yes. I think what you're saying about heavy, when she does her harsh vocals, it sounds desperate when she screams. There's a sense of desperation every time that she unleashes the harsh vocals that I don't think you don't hear that desperation out of harsh vocals a lot.
No.
But it really comes across in this album. I think like I was kind of discrediting Will I, but the end of Will I she belts out like Will I before the song fades out. I think that's fantastic. And I have the breakdown call out for Roach Queen. I was sick and nobody helped me. I was sick and nobody cared. Phenomenal. So fucking good. And you really get the desperation on the I was sick and nobody cared, because she like extends that nobody cared delivery for a few seconds, and it's just incredible. And The Walls That Were Built, I think, is a solid song, but it just, compared to the first 4, it did not live up to the same level as I was hoping. Waves was always underwhelming as a single for me. Iliad's like kind of out of place. I get it. It's a debut album. This band can get heavy, and they wanted to have the heavy pissed off song on here. It makes sense. Like, I don't blame them for it, but I've enjoyed heavy pissed off songs more from other bands. I'm thinking like a Nemesis by Inertia type of thing. And like I think Will I and The Hourglass and Plated Gold are fine. The Embers is a good closer, but when the album starts as strong as it does, it doesn't stick the landing in the way that I was hoping for. And I think if it did stick the landing, we're talking about a true top 10 contender, not just a dark horse that might fall just short.
I don't know if I can give it that high of a degree for me, but it's still an incredibly solid album from a band that I was otherwise not entirely sold on the singles. I think of all the, like, I had expectations and they were subverted in a good way, like pleasantly surprised type of things this month. This was definitely at the top of the list for me. I really enjoyed this overall.
One nice comment I get, you get the feature of Sean from Make Them Suffer on Plated Gold. Not what I was expecting. Yeah, it's a weird song for Sean to feature on. I would almost expect him to feature on a song like Iliad. but he doesn't. I think his feature is solid. He's had better features, but like, I definitely think. I don't know. I had a lot higher expectations for Plated Gold with the Sean feature, and I don't. Again, it's like it didn't stick the landing. With all that being said, this is an Australian band which has. Let me pull up the numbers real quick. We're looking at a band with 21,000 monthly listeners right now, which is significantly less than they should have. And I think heading into a sophomore album or an EP following this up, this band has a very bright future.
I think that wraps us up for this month.
And that means that all that's left in the year of 2023.
I was about to say we're done with this month, but we're not really done with this month.
We have end of year awards coming up. We've been teasing it throughout this episode, obviously, but we have 3 special episodes that come out at the end of each year. If you didn't know, go check out our awards from last year, particularly, where we will talk about our favorite songs, our favorite EPs, our favorite albums, and some superlative awards in 3 episodes over the rest of December. And it's the ultimate culmination of all of these monthly recaps that we do throughout the year.
Legit, I think it's like one of our favorite annual shows that we do every year.
And most stressful.
Absolutely. And most stressful, absolutely.
For everyone that's not me.
Leave me alone.
But I feel like this is always such an exciting time of year for all of us, and stressful. But there's a lot of excitement to be able to celebrate the bands that really stood out throughout the course of an entire year. Like, an entire year is a lot of time. And the bands that make these
Sounds
types
like a year.
I know. Like, it sounds obvious, but like it's true. Like, to be able to say, like, this is my favorite song of the year, and to be able to say that about a band and like some people's work, like, we're giving a lot of praise and a lot of credit to these bands. And I don't want that to go unnoticed, because I feel we have echoed the sentiment that it's been a bit of an underwhelming year, but that's not to discredit that there was also a bunch of fantastic new songs and albums and EPs that dropped this year.
Absolutely.
And whether you've just listened to this episode or you've been following along throughout the entire year, hopped in between, the end of year awards are the culmination of everything, and we hope that you give those a listen, because I think for the 4 of us, it's some of our favorite episodes to record all year, and I think it's always cool to talk about your favorite music, you know? Like, Spotify Wrapped doesn't trend on social media for a few days if it's not exciting to talk about your favorite music, you know?
Absolutely.
Look,
What's
sometimes you just need a soapbox to talk about it.
Yep.
Thanks. I love it too. Like,
that's the entire point of this podcast existing.
Honestly. And just the fact that, like, especially when some of us have overlap, but even like, I know for me, if there's somebody else who has, whether it be podcast, Twitter, whatever, if they've got the same album in their top 10 as I do, like, I love hearing why they liked it and seeing like, oh, well, here's where it overlaps with me, here's what was different type of thing. Do we find something new to appreciate about it?
That feeling just gives me the serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like
However, the end of year awards are not the end of 2023. We still have our December recap to do in early 2024, but this is really the ultimate culmination of this year of our recaps.
What were you saying, Jacob?
The one time Justin and I had like holding absence at like randomly both at number 9 or some shit like that. It's so weird.
And then that one year we both had the same number 1 with Noya.
I've had the same number 1 as multiple people, multiple years.
Jacob and I have not shared a number 1 yet.
And I don't think we are this year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Color Decay Deluxe is not my album of the year. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Shit.
I think it's going to just about do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out the playlist for everything we discussed this month. A lot of smaller bands worth your time that you should go and check out. And be sure to follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get some traction on the YouTubes. We're trying to post more reels and shorts and stuff to get some more traction for what we do. So we appreciate all the support as per usual. Thank you for listening and have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
See ya.